Welcome back, Patriots, for another special episode of the Bald Brad Show, where we are catching today's White House press briefing live once again with Karine Jean-Pierre. And as many of you are already writing in the live chat, how long is she going to be late today? We're just waiting for her to show up to her own press briefing on time. We are already almost 5 minutes late. Yesterday, she was 45 minutes late. So today, we started the live stream when the meeting was supposed to start. So it's on her time because her time is more valuable than everybody else's that watches this. But it couldn't be more than happy to spend this fine afternoon, or I guess still morning, with all you lovely Patriots in the live chat. We got Pat, we got Dapple, we got Kelly, we got Sharon in here. We got a lot of people over at Rumble as well. Couldn't be more than happy to share another who knows how long with all you fine people. We had a great show this morning. If you didn't catch that, that was at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We went over a lot of news. We went over how the media spun and still is spinning, the whole Biden geriatric brain falling out of his head whole ordeal. And we checked into the idea that illegal immigrants and other countries are getting into your Social Security by having refugees come here. So that was kind of fun. And we also looked at illegal immigration. We looked at a lot of stuff, folks, in our morning show. So if you don't catch that live, it's still there for you to catch it right after this White House press briefing. Now, yesterday, we also went live. And again, we're still waiting for her to show up. Chaos broke out in the White House press briefing room where reporters were finally fed up with her shenanigans. Most notably, Ed O'Keefe of CBS News pushing back on Karine Jean-Pierre, saying, why can't you just answer the question? Oh, well, for security reasons. What security reasons when the person's name is already publicly known and it's publicly out there where anybody in the public can see it because it's public? And yes, I did a word salad very similar to Kamala Harris, where we used public as many times as possible in one sentence, but it got the job done and the point across, where this administration is covering up something big, folks. I mean, could it be Parkinson's? Maybe. But we do know that something is going on with the president's noggin. Something is happening with this guy, and it could be all back to his aneurysms, which I guess he's had 2 of them so far, maybe more. We just don't know because they're not willing to be forthcoming with any information about the president's medical history, which is a mind-blowing thing considering this guy has the access codes to the nukes. So while we're waiting, let's get into a little bit of what's going on with this voting stuff, because you have the SAVE Act that's being put forth, hopefully this week, by Chip Roy. He's kind of the one leading this thing. And it's the action of the voter that's registering to show proof of citizenship upon voting to register. And we have Elon Musk right here talking a lot about the election as of right now and talking a lot about just voter fraud in general. So he said this is more accurate description of what happens regarding voter fraud. And you had it coming from this person that said, this is not importing Democrat voters. They are importing people's names that allows the state fraud process to generate ballots. This is an important distinction. And this person is correct. You have here, the immigrants will not use the ballots. The DNC harvesters will collect them, fill them out, Obama. Then the precinct workers will scan them and count them. Illegals don't need to vote. They need to exist to create a ballot. This person is not wrong. And this person is playing like 4D chess because they are way ahead of the game than what a lot of outlets are doing. So I want to make sure I bring that strategy to all of you because it is going to happen. And who's to say it already didn't happen in 2020? Nobody called it. Furthermore, just to show you how ahead of the game we are as a channel, we covered this yesterday. I actually walked you guys through the voting registration form in the state of California. Well, check this out. Here's Texas. Here's the official Texas voter registration form for federal elections. Nowhere in the form does one have to prove they're actually a citizen. All they have to do is click yes. Isn't that exactly what we showed yesterday? We just showed you just click on anyone. It doesn't even matter what it is. And you don't have to show proof. What it said was, if for California, you may have to prove you are actually a citizen or a resident of the state of California. So take it as a grain of salt, you guys. This is what you're seeing. Illegals are voting. I don't care what they tell you. It is happening. So who are these activists? Activists oppose California bill that makes child prostitution a felony. The reason LGBTQ people are more likely to be charged with sex offenses. Maybe there's some truth to that. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. I mean, these are the people that were parading in the streets, giving each other blowjobs and peeing each other's faces. If you guys didn't see that one, don't recommend you go check it out on Twitter. It was disgusting. It'll make you gag. So we're still waiting. We are still waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre to show up to her own meeting. Yesterday, she was 45 minutes late. We were streaming for almost an hour before she actually got on that damn podium. Today is the press briefing. There probably won't be one tomorrow. Maybe. Very rarely do we get 3 press briefings in a row, back to back to back. But there is a big boy press briefing, whatever the hell that means, with Joe Biden on Thursday. So we will be going live twice on Thursday, again, for our morning show at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Follow us so you could join all our Patriots in the live chat on Rumble, on YouTube, and on Twitter. We're everywhere, folks. Come hang out with us because we have one of the best chats on the internet. I mean, just don't take my word for it. Just come in and hang out with all of us in the morning, and I think you're going to have a freaking blast. A lot of people wake up early just to hang out with like-minded people. Damn, we all know each other. Look at that. We're all writing each other's names in the chat. It's the best. By the way, has anybody picked up a mug yet? Who's sporting the Bald Brad Show mug? I know Shib bought one and his wife broke it. His wife's a patriot. She didn't break it out of anger. I think she just dropped it. That happened a while ago. The man picked up another one. I'm telling you what, I drink out of different cups. For some reason, coffee just tastes this much better. Tastes so much better out of a Bald Brad Show mug, let me tell you. Some say, actually, I don't know if this is true. Some say that drinking coffee out of different mugs does have an impact. Is it true? I don't know. Maybe you should test it out by getting a Bald Brad Show mug. Link is in the description. We got to plug our stuff, baby. It's just me. And I guess Secret Agent 355. Ladies, again, Secret Agent. Agent 355 is a spy from the American Revolution. It is a female that did amazing work. And I am thinking about making Bald Brad Show t-shirts for women only. That's Agent 355 on the back with the Bald Brad Show logo on the front. We do have women tees already. We have a whole women's section for that. We don't do that non-binary stuff here. No. We're all biological. But we got a lot of stuff over on baldbrad.com. We do have a shop. You guys should check that out. There's some legit merch, man. Legit stuff. So waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre to show up to her own damn press briefing. By the way, a lot of you pointed out yesterday, we sat here for 45 minutes hanging out, but no apology. She didn't apologize one damn bit to anybody. How about, look, if you're not going to apologize to the reporters because you don't like them, at least apologize to the camera. We're all sitting here. We have a life. All of you are like, Brad, I'm at work right now, man. I'm slaving away. Isn't that remarkable? You're slaving away. You're working hard. And all your taxpayer money is going to Ukraine. It's not even going into your pocket, making things better for yourself. I keep reminding everybody that all that money that we're sending to Ukraine is it's on credit. So we're paying interest on that. It's not 60 billion. No way in hell. Try potentially, depending on when it's being paid off. I mean, you're looking at 90 billion maybe. Every single time. We don't have the money, so we're just borrowing it on credit. Just giving stuff to other people's countries. So, still waiting for the thank you from the Iranians for that $10 billion. Still waiting. With all this internet access, you would think that there would be a flood of videos thanking Americans for their hard-earned money going to their countries, paying for their education system, building up their military, securing their borders. Do you notice that everybody just gives us the middle finger all around the world? Like, everybody hates us, but yet we're protecting literally everybody, like the entire NATO. Oh, they're paying 2% of their GDP. Whoa, stop traffic. 2% of their GDP is going towards NATO. Oh, wow. Well, how big? The state of California has greater GDP than some of these countries. So you're all bragging, oh, it's 2%. Stop traffic. Notify the newspapers. 2%. Hello, Bald Brad, and all the patriots in the chat. Hey, hello, Kimberly. Welcome. Red Dirt. Since when do the demos care about Americans? Oh, that's a great point, my friend. You make a great point. Jason, 2 genders. Exactly right. There's only 2. Only 2. Deplorable me. Good afternoon / morning. Good to see ya. Rajat, good to see ya. Golden Girl. Sunset, I see you over at Rumble. If you guys aren't over at Rumble, show us some love over there. If you're curious, what's going on, man? Where's the press briefing? I came here for the press briefing. So did all we. We're waiting. You're going to hear me repeat that because we got a lot of people joining us looking for the White House press briefing. Going, where is it? I just see a guy with a Patriot hat talking. Yep, that's what we do here. We talk, we give our opinions, we hang out as patriots, and we go over the news, except we're waiting for this lady to show up to her own press briefing on time. It's really a remarkable thing. Now, 15 minutes late. We cover every single one, not always live. But you got to admit, it really is a remarkable statistic that you could probably bank on and gamble the fact that she's going to be late to her own press briefing. It just shows you the disrespect, right? And that's why it kind of bugged me. Jackie Heinrich of Fox News, who we love here. We're fans of Jackie, at least I am. And I've talked to her a couple times. Love her. But this whole idea of, oh, well, this room is for decorum of getting questions and answers in. Well, 1, you get your questions in, but you never get answers. And 2, she's just highly disrespectful of everybody. 1, she's personally disrespectful to people. She's rude. She's condescending. She acts like a bee every now and then. She doesn't call on Peter Doocy. By the way, she's gone weeks without calling on Fox News, specifically Jackie Heinrich. She's blacklisted Simon Atiba that sits in the back now. No pun intended, because the guy is black. Some people think, oh, well, you're just saying that. No. He has been blacklisted. He's even been kicked out of the White House before. They removed his badge and his security clearance. They won't call on Philip Wegman, who's a great reporter, by the way. Even he would acknowledge that he's been in the penalty box before. So this lady is disrespectful. And so I don't like the whole idea of like, oh, well, we should treat this as if it's a decorum. No, not, especially not after what you did to Trump. Not saying that's even Jackie's thing. I don't even think she was in there when Trump was in office. But no, that was messed up by CNN and all the other outlets like ABC, CBS. No, they messed it up last administration. So we're just going to keep the ball rolling with that. And I think people should shout their questions out and act like Ed O'Keefe did yesterday, a little pissed off because he sits there every single day. The dude has to go to that White House every single day and sit in that damn chair and never get his questions answered. He gets answers to questions that were never proposed. But, I'm on his side yesterday. I thought he did a great job pushing back. And we called it, by the way. I always say we got to give her pats on the back every now and then. We called it right when we walked in. We were saying, hey, let's see who's in the room. And we saw Ed O'Keefe walk in. I said, good. We need Ed. He's been good for the last 2 years. We saw Peter Doocy. He didn't get a question in yesterday. Maybe he'll get one in today if it's not Jackie Heinrich in there. And then we saw our boy Philip Wegman. He didn't get a question in either. And then Ed didn't get a question in either, who's with Fox Business, I believe. And then James Rosen would be great, but she ain't going to call on him because she don't like him one bit. Is James with Newsmax? I think that's who, or is it Newsweek? Who's James with again? I always forget. How would everyone feel about the entire administration being elected chosen by POTUS? It'd be an interesting thing. I just don't think a lot of people have a lot of time to spend with researching everybody. And I'll give you an example, Autumn. Even in our local elections, right? When you go to vote for the president, you're not just voting for your federal election, you're voting for your state and local elections as well. And you'll see a list of names, a list of propositions. Most people don't even know what the hell they're voting for. They'll see names on there that you don't even know who the heck they are. So imagine you have your federal, state, and local elections, but now you got to vote for everybody in the executive branch, and even judicial maybe and legislature. I don't know. It just people don't have that kind of time. And there's a reason why 34%. Again, we're still waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre to show up to her own press briefing. There's a reason why 34% of the country still will vote for Joe. They're just not aware that he's cognitively off. I know that sounds wild. I know that sounds like that's impossible. Like, how is that possible? How is it 34% of the country? I mean, 21%, here's a real stat, 21% thought that he won the debate. So a portion of that never even watched it. They just go, he's fine. There's no way in hell he could have lost against Donald Trump. Nah, he did good. So there's people out there that really just full-fledged believe that Joe Biden is mentally fit to hold office, that he's doing A-okay, that everything's fine. Because they're working, you know what I mean? They got kids and family. I'm not saying any of you don't. But they just don't like politics. They don't want to spend their time in it. And all of us, we love this type of stuff. At least I do. I find it comedic. You guys see me get you see me get frustrated. Some of you think I get mad. I get frustrated because I see all of us Americans working really hard to just get by sometimes, pay our bills or pay our debts off. We can't seem to just catch up, or whatever it may be, build wealth, doesn't matter what it is. And when we go spend all everybody's hard-earned money on illegal immigrants or to other nations, and you're not even spending it here, which is where it should be spent first and foremost, and then everybody else comes secondary, meaning the globe, it gets you riled up, man, because you're trying to speak on behalf of the American people. I'm here for Americans, Democrat or Republican, doesn't matter. I hound Democrats a lot because I think they do knucklehead things, but so do Republicans, quite frankly. They spend their money in ways that isn't very Republican-like. Trump's number one term was a learning curve. This time he knows how to... Yeah, I agree. I actually agree. A lot of people are saying that he's going to pick a more robust cabinet, but also administration. A lot of people are saying, yeah, it was a learning curve. We'll see, though. You never know. I mean, he's willing to work with a lot of Republicans now. I mean, look at Marco Rubio, who he ran against in 2016, Ted Cruz. Remember he ripped on all these people, and now he's willing to work with them. A lot of people saying that Donald Trump's dipping himself into the deep state. So I don't know. There's a lot of things that are being said about Donald Trump himself. I mean, how could you not work with the deep state if you're not going to remove a lot of people from the executive branch? So that's kind of what Vivek Ramaswamy was saying, and that's why I want Vivek in there with Donald Trump. It's not just because he's a great speaker and he can really carry forward Donald Trump's message in ways that no other VP can, but also his ability to guide Donald Trump in the necessary things that need to take place to drain the swamp. And I think he'd be a great pick. He's already outlined his vision, and I think that's the same vision that Donald Trump wouldn't mind having in his administration. So if you're waiting here with all of us, we are now 20 minutes late waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre again to her own press briefing. She was 45 minutes late yesterday. I mean, dude, I'll be honest. I thought she was actually going to be on time today. I really did. And you go, Brad, you sucker. You're an idiot. You actually believe she'd be on time? Paul, it's good to see you. Paul Wells has been a long time subscriber to the Bald Brad Show. Paul, it's good to see you. Patrick, Cowboy, Snarf, I see all of you. I see a lot of people over at Rumble as well. We got 50 plus and only growing over at Rumble. And our Rumble account, you guys, is growing. It's really growing. Couldn't be more than proud to be over there. We got people watching over at Twitter as well. Again, waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre. If you haven't already, hit that like button, that thumbs up. It does support the show. And what that actually does is it forces basically the algorithm. It circumvents the human aspect of all of these platforms. And it forces the algorithm to send our videos out there to new viewers who haven't seen our content or our channel so that they're able to actually find us. Another thing that helps too is leaving a comment. For some reason, I don't know why this is the case, the live chat doesn't count as a comment, and so it doesn't count as an interaction with the channel. As to why, no clue. But if you leave us a comment down below, it actually does help greatly support us, and we need that support. We're a small channel, we're grassroots, and any help would be greatly appreciated. Anyone want to guess what time Karine will show up? That is a great question. Somebody was saying 1:40. Such a great question. I don't know. I think she'll be 30 minutes late for sure. Again, I always say the printers, it's a federal building. The printers are probably archaic. She can't either find her binder, she left it at home, or the printer's jammed. What's going on, Jeff? Good to see you, brother. Sharon says 1:40. So Sharon's saying then in another 18 minutes. Possible. That might be a good guess. What else does everybody got here? Rumble Dylan's here. Good to see you, Dylan. We love Dylan here. We love the Dylan. Dylan, we gave you a shout out in this morning's episode. Good sir. Anyone want to guess again what time Karine Jean-Pierre is going to show up? We're just waiting for her to finally appear on time to her own press briefing for once, and she is 23 minutes late. I even thought today, while we're waiting, I was thinking, yesterday was 10:30, right? Pacific Standard Time for the press briefing. And I was going, man, she made it 10 a.m. Maybe she's trying to, make herself better. Maybe she's trying to, fix things finally, Well, I was the idiot on that one. Karine Jean-Pierre scheduled this. Absolutely, Neil. Yes, sirree, she did. And she's always late. I don't understand it. I really don't get it. It just shows the incompetence of her and the administration in general, because she really does mimic her boss very well, right? She doesn't answer anybody's questions. She kind of rumbles and mumbles through, various things, but also she's late to everything. And so is Joe Biden. Joe Biden is chronically late to everything. I'd be shocked if he shows up on time to the press briefing on Thursday, and we don't have any information on that. They made it seem like it was a big ordeal, this press briefing that they're going to be hosting with Joe Biden on Thursday. What? It shows you everything you need to know right there. I mean, why are we treating him doing a press briefing as if it's another like State of the Union address? The press are going, how many questions do we get? Like, how many reporters are going to be allowed to be in the room? She's like, well, we'll have to see. We're planning it all out. Why doesn't he just walk on the podium himself on Thursday like you do every single day, except be on time, and just answer their questions? Just say, hey, he's going to stick it out for 2 hours. We'll be here as long as we need. He's going to be as clear as possible, which won't be very clear. And, we'll go ahead and get this thing going. It's just it's a remarkable thing that they sit here and push this messaging that Joe Biden's fit. He's sharp. We want to turn the page. He just had a bad night. We want to move away from what just happened during the last debate. And then what happens with it is they don't do any changes. The changes they make is him having scripted interviews over the radio, to going out and doing these off-the-cuff, like, speaking engagements during his campaign, and rumbling and rambling and doing this and that. I mean, not having a clue what he's saying. He's talking about traffic congestion on July 4th. He's confusing Christmas with July 4th, Independence Day. It hasn't helped his cause, which, again, if you just want to turn the page on it, just put him up there on the podium. And by the way, we called that early on. And then somebody, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes later, in that press briefing last Tuesday, asked that very same question. Why don't you just have him on the podium if he's in the White House right now? Like, call him out, right? He's 30 seconds down the hallway. Just have him come out here. Well, we know why. Joe is hooked up to oxygen, walking around the White House naked. Can you imagine that visual? You're welcome. Some people say 1:35. Okay, well, that's in another 9 minutes. That comes from Jason. Always good to see you, brother. She gets off on having everyone wait up. You know what, Autumn? There is some truth to that, actually. We know that there was rumblings in the White House, specifically between her and John Kirby, about basically a fight over ego and having enough time on that podium. And that's why yesterday, if you see me looking at my watch like this, it's because I'm timing if John Kirby and her are splitting the press briefing. And so I'm literally looking at the time because I've calculated there's like a range of 3 to 5 minutes in terms of deviation of time spent on the podium, split perfectly like 30 minutes down the line. And so yesterday I was looking at my watch going, okay, well, he's probably going to wrap it up in about 3 or 4 minutes. And I even called it out. I said, okay, I think he's going to be done soon, because it's about 30 minutes into the briefing. Cowboy, thank you so much for joining the Bald Brad Army. Greatly appreciate it. We got a new member. Always love those that support the Bald Brad Show. We also have a subscription over at Rumble. If you guys want to join over there, it is a free speech platform. Couldn't be more than happy to be working with Rumble. It is our new home for streaming, and we will be there for the long going. We are getting a lot of followers over there. If you're just now joining us, we are waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre again to show up to her own White House press briefing. I keep reloading it to see if anything changes, but we'll continue to bring you the news and have conversations about this or that. Pat says, bring up the president's schedule, and it says where there is a brief tonight, ? There's no briefing tonight. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong, Pat. Thursday there will be. We don't know what time yet. We don't have any details. We might find out during today's White House press briefing, because I'm sure people are going to ask, since it's only about 48 hours away. He's doing the Thronesy shuffle. Geez, you guys are ridiculous. You mean the big boy briefing? Yep, that's what they're calling it, Golden Girl. The big boy briefing. God, that is so... The fact that they don't have any self-awareness that that's totally degrading to the president is mind-blowing to me. The fact that they're repeating that slogan as if it's funny, or it isn't kind of belittling the president, it is really crazy to me. You're calling it's because it's treating him like a child, like, oh, you're gonna be a big boy now, huh? Oh, you're gonna step up to the plate, huh, Joey? Good job, buddy. Good job, sucker. Oh, you're doing great. Yeah, you're the big guy, huh? The big boy. Yep. You're gonna get on that podium, aren't you? You're gonna talk to them, aren't you? It's like it's really just belittling to them, specifically to him. I mean, what they're doing to the man is just messed up. I got my copy. Look, I was in it for the long haul. I knew we were going to be here for a while. By the way, this isn't a real Starbucks mug, just for those that are curious. Like, Brad, you're supporting the corporations. Somebody made this for me. And then we got the Bald Bradshaw mug filled with some coffee. Any more new postings on Spooky Channel? Jim, we are going to post one soon. I'm surprised you even know about that. We do have a second channel called Spooky Adventures. We do post, usually we try to post every Saturday. The idea behind it was to, take a day out of the week to step aside from the politics and craziness of the world. And for those that don't know me, I love supernatural stuff. I love UFOs. I love the paranormal. Doesn't mean I'm like wholeheartedly a believer, right? Like there's freaking alien abductions happening. But, it's adventurous. And I love adventure. I'm a boy at heart, man. And I love that stuff. Like I get a kick out of watching Jeremy Corbell, George Knapp, like talk about UFOs, man. Like Joe Rogan podcast about UFOs. I love conspiracy theories. That's one of the things I like about Alex Jones is the conspiracy theory talk more than anything. We have Karine Jean-Pierre is on. Yep. Only motherfucker on earth time. Yep. Maybe he thinks he is the big boy now. Oh, you guys are great. They never see themselves as public servants. They see themselves above all of us. They are correct. That's why I call us peasants. We are just peasants to all of them. And he's too gone to know too, Brad. Sad, really. Absolutely correct. I'm right there with all of you. I really like the Spooky Channel. Oh, thanks, Sharon. I have fun doing it. Look, everyone's all about spooky now. I'm all about the Spooky Channel. I'm into conspiracy theories, UFOs, Bigfoot, unexplained. There you go. Okay, everyone's in the spooky. Okay, well, sheesh, I'll make one. I'm actually going to the movies tonight. I still can't believe you guys might be right here. 10:30. Okay, who voted for 10:30? You're wrong. She's not up yet. Okay, so Jason, you got 4 minutes to be correct. Patrick, you got a little bit of time. I don't even know what time I said. You guys, I'm sure, will call me out. We're still waiting. This is unbelievable. Dude, this is crazy. 31 minutes and she's late. I'm seeing the Quiet Place movie tonight. The whatever one's out, so that'll be kind of fun. I enjoy that channel. Okay, good. I'll have to post more spooky adventures then. Yeah. Don't worry. I know I haven't posted in a couple weeks on there, but we'll get it done. It will happen. We're over here on Rumble as well. I see all of you. Let me know if you have any questions about anything, whether it's voter stuff that's happening, anything about statistics, anything about me personally. More than happy to answer any of your guys' questions. If you want to throw a donation in there, that would be great help as well to running the channel. If Karine was Pinocchio, her nose would reach across the country. It might hit the moon. Oh, I enjoy that channel. Thank you, sir. I enjoy hanging out with all of you. Going with your girl, Brad? Yes, sirree, I am. Yes, sirree. Absolutely. First two are better. I haven't seen these. I haven't seen technically the second one. I guess it's the third, but in the middle. Got a lot of people over at Twitter. Got a lot of people watching, which is absolutely awesome over here. I'm still floored the fact that we get just as many viewers. Put this in perspective. I keep talking about this because it's frustrating as hell. In this way, it's a good way. You guys, right now we have more people watching live over at Rumble with 600 followers than we do on YouTube. That's 62,000 subscribers. So let that one sing. It shows how great and how Rumble doesn't do any foozery over there where YouTube does. YouTube tries to suppress free speech. YouTube suppresses conservative content. There is a lawsuit. Rumble is suing the shit out of YouTube right now for their practices. And if you guys want to look that up online, you absolutely should. Hey, Jackie, how's it going? She has the don't tread on me badge. We're an active community on Rumble. Where notifications work. That is true. The notifications are spot on Rumble. That's what I'll say. They definitely notify you right when we go live. What is the conspiracy channel again? Oh, it's Spooky Adventures. Let me find it for you guys if you want to go follow over there. Yeah, it's it's just fun. It's just reactionary. I get spooked out big time. So let me see if I can find that for you guys. I'll post a link in there. Let's see. I have to go to an old video. Go down here, and here's the link. Spooky Adventures. We'll put in Rumble. and we will put it in here. So there's the link. It's in the chat if you want to head over to Spooky Adventures. 140 is getting close. Dude, this is nuts. This is some wild stuff. Do you get the badge after so long? If yeah, correct. Yeah, so there's a badge for each month that you are a member. So I don't remember how many months the Don't Tread on Me badge is. It might be 2 or 3. And then as you progress, it turns into shields. So I think Neil might have a shield. Neil's been a long time member. Neil's been a member for quite a while. So he might have it. Yeah, Neil has the shield. And then I know Shib has the shield as well. Those two guys have been around for a while. So it just progresses. And the shields are freaking dope, man. I made them all myself, and I gotta admit that the shield is awesome. Somebody's saying you think 2 p.m. an hour late, Jeff? Wow. Okay, so 6 months. Pat says the Don't Tread on Me one 6 months. I like the Don't Tread on Me. That one's dope. Again, I made them all myself. Who is Bald Brad? Bald Brad is a conservative that talks about all the current news. We do a show every morning, 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, together as a community of patriots, Republicans, conservatives, and independents, where we call it the hypocrisy of the left, the Democrat Party, and the mainstream media. And we bring up the fact that they're destroying this great country of ours and make America great again. So Bitter, it's good to see you in the live chat, my friend. We got a lot of new people following us, and that's why longtime listeners go, Brad, you're repeating yourself a lot. Yes, we have a lot of new people coming in, which is great to see. She forgot about this and went to lunch, maybe. You might not be wrong. Let's go ahead and refresh it. I mean, look, I know it's not the refreshing's the issue, but, we'll try it out anyways. I have a sword. Nice. Greg, it's good to see you. Sorry if I'm typing. Messy keyboard is broken on my phone. No worries. We'll figure it out. It's more coherent than Joe Biden himself. Yes, we are an author, secret agent. Thank you so much. Might as well plug it if you haven't already. Guys, there's only like a few copies left on Amazon. You guys are buying these up, which is awesome. A Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America, folks. Check this book out. I'm telling you, it's a timely book. It's a great book. It walks you through how the Democrat Party, in conjunction with the progressive left, are using ideologies like racism, like Black Lives Matter, COVID-19, the Clintons, identity, transgenderism, the LGBTQ community, anti-police, to basically destroy our social fabric and destroy the country from the inside out. It's a timely book, and a lot of you are loving it. If you already bought it over Amazon, can you leave us a 5-star review? We're trying to climb in the ladders. The book is a little over a year old, and it's selling a lot of copies. People are really interested in it, which is awesome. We sell at a local store down in Seal Beach. If you guys haven't checked that out, Beach and Seal Beach. 2 conservatives, Republicans, MAGA supporters. They sell a bunch of Trump stuff down there on the beach. We love them here. We support them, and they support me. They allow me to sell their book in their shop. So if you're local in California, head over to Beach and Seal Beach, right there on Main Street in Seal Beach. You can get a copy of the book, and I think if they're up for it, I might do some more signed copies down there. Give a review, 5 stars. Love that, secret agent. Thank you. More pages, yes, more pages. Yes, more pages. I love that. What do we got over here? Give it a 5-star. Thank you. You should put a communist manifesto inside that book. Well, I get what you said. At first, I was like, bro, I'm not communist, but I get what you mean. Loving it so far. Thank you, Jeff. I'm glad you enjoy it. Is the book about rhinos? No, we don't have any rhinos in there. I can give you a list of the chapters, though, while we're waiting for this press briefing. The chapters we talk about is Antifa, the mainstream media. We talk about racism, the anti-police movement, debunking police racism, indoctrination. I take you through critical race theory, discriminations and disparities, abortion. All those chapters, we basically cite different sources. I mean, I have like 30 pages worth of sources in that book. So you can always look those up yourself. YouTube is overdrive removing videos for the last week. It is insane. You're not wrong. We've had videos removed on YouTube. We've got them flagged every single day practically by YouTube. And Rumble is where it's at. Again, if you're just joining us, we are just waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre Truly a remarkable thing that we're seeing, that she is now almost 40 minutes late. Could she beat her time yesterday? Could she be 45 plus minutes late? I don't know. Is the book about rhinos? We read that already. Like I said, you guys will like the book. How many? Let me see how many copies are left on Amazon. It might be sold out now. Let me see. If you can't get on Amazon, try. We are in some Walmarts as well as Barnes and Noble. There's 7 left in stock as of me looking at this. That's for paperback, and there's 16 left in stock on hardcover. And right now, you can get 21% off on Amazon. 18% rather. Never mind. 18%. So leave us a 5-star review over there. We're trying to climb. Right now, we're ranked 634 in political commentary opinion books. And somebody did leave a 5-star rating. Thank you. Greatly appreciate that. 7 left in stock, man. That's wild. Extended food fight. Is Spooky on Rumble? Is Spooky on Rumble? I actually don't know, Jim. That's a good question. I don't think I am. I don't think I am. But maybe we need to be. Funniest clip ever of Don Lemon live on CNN making fun of Trump's cognitive test. I know, right? That did not age well. Speaking of that, isn't it wild that Karine Jean-Pierre standing on that podium saying, he doesn't need one. The doctor says he doesn't need to do one. Right? We don't give a shit about that. We want to see one. We want to see that dude do a cognitive test live to have reassurance that this guy's there. And by the way, not really sure if that's even going to make me a believer after everything I've seen. Is it on Audible? No, we don't have an audio version of the book. There's other people that have asked for that. It's just really expensive. So I don't know. If I could do an AI thing in my voice, that's easy to do, sure. But it's kind of costly to do something like that. Unfortunately. Something possibly in the future. We did start writing a second book, but sometimes when you get a ways into it, it's just you don't really feel it. So I don't know if I'm gonna continue forward with this one, but I do have some other ideas in the pipeline. Dude, this is wild. 41 minutes late. You think she'll apologize this time? They just, I'm sorry for being late. I had some asparagus stuck in my teeth. I'm telling you, it's the printer, man. That's what we're gonna blame it on, the printer. CJP nowhere to be found. How do you show up this late? Like twice. No, AI sounds horrible. She got 7 minutes till I lose. Pat, you're gonna lose. Actually, I don't know, man. To be 45 minutes late is pretty impressive. I don't think I've ever seen her an hour late. I think I might reach. I think later today, you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to reach out to, while we're live right now, I'm going to reach out to one of the reporters in the White House, and I'm going to ask them, is she always this late? Is Karine always this late for press briefings? Now, I'm not going to tell you which White House correspondent that we just messaged, but you just got to take faith that we do talk to people that are in the room right now. It's funny because early on we had like 1,000 subscribers, and somebody was like, "Oh, there's no way you actually know them." Like, why would I bring that up? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, why would I lie about something like that? Yeah, it's a little bit of a flex, but it's nice to know that, oh, you're watching a dude in his closet right now be able to communicate with people in the actual White House, which is dope. Brad bringing in the big guns. She did. Okay, this sounds bad. It was tough to watch, Sharon. She did almost cry yesterday. People were finding that, like, some people tagged it like, oh, hilarious. Karine Jean-Pierre almost breaks down in tears. Like, I don't find that funny, to be quite honest, watching her almost cry. But, it is frustrating that she doesn't answer people's questions. I don't like to see anybody cry, really. Like, I play it off like, oh, I'm a hardball guy. I'm soft at heart, man. I'm a softie. I was 10 minutes late to a doctor's appointment and got fired from my doctor. Well, they can't fire Karine because she's a DEI hire, so Whoa, thank you so much, Star Scorpio product, $10 donation. Thank you. Love these lives, Brad, my bald brother. Thank you. Shout out from Toronto, Canada. Trudeau and Biden would be the worst pair if they were in the WWE. They would be a terrible tag team. I'm gonna give that one a heart. I love that one. $10 donation. Thank you so much, sir. You're keeping the lights on for us. Can you imagine that tag team, though? The geriatrics? Holy lordy. Joe Biden would turn to dust. Glad I'm not the only bald guy in the chat. We are, in fact, bald, folks. We wear the hat because it's part of the image. She won't appear. Oh, this is the best administration ever in history. Isn't that a remarkable saying that she tells us? The narrative will be, folks, again, this is just a one-off. You're slowly seeing it change. It's really a remarkable thing watching all these clips in real time, seeing the shift of the narrative slowly go to, it was a bad night. Yeah, we talked to the guy. We've had a lot of conversations behind the scenes. He's sharp. No, he's with it. It really was just a bad night. So you're actually seeing the shift happen in real time, which is a remarkable thing. And we said this exact thing would happen. They're going to get behind Joe Biden when they see that he is not going to drop out. And I think the further away you get from that first debate and closer to the second one that's happening in September, the more you're going to see the Democrat Party rally behind this guy. They have nobody else. They have to. And the media is just another apparatus, another mechanism, another extension of the Democrat Party, and they're going to get behind him as well. And I think if they do a debate this month, which I don't know will happen, I mean, Biden did agree to debate Donald Trump again on Donald Trump's terms, which is having kind of no moderation, just kind of a conversation. That could happen this month, but the next official debate through ABC News is, in fact, September. Her almost crying. Some say karma, some say justice, and some small measure of justice. Yeah, I would agree with that. Absolutely. I would just wish that the press would push back more, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. So let's see if we got a response here. No response from one of the White House correspondents. Not sure. Send dispatch. This dude. We are now 46 minutes late. She has officially beaten her record yesterday. And you know what's frustrating is on their page. You guys see that? Comments are turned off. Why? You should let free speech flourish. Maybe that would help you recognize who's actually watching your stuff and maybe learn something about the American people. I'm not saying people in the comment section are always right. I mean, but this is insane. I mean, we started at 10 o'clock today. Remember, we go live 30 minutes before the press briefing or 15 minutes, but now we're just shoot. Maybe I should start 30 minutes once the press briefing supposedly goes live. Got a lot of people over at Rumble. A lot of people just are like, what the hell's going on? Jeff might have guessed it. Jeff, right now, Jeff is the closest one. Yes, that is correct. Agent 355 is on top of it, and that's why she is in here with us. Always has our back, always has our six. Wild stuff. Just ordered my copy of your book. Golden Girl, thank you. Heck yeah. Golden Girl got herself a copy of Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America. While we're sitting here, might as well just read the backing of it for all of you. It says, the modern day Greeks are not hiding within their Trojan horse awaiting their ambush on the modern day Trojans. They are already here. The well-known Greek tale of the Trojan horse may be thousands of years old, but its concept still holds true to this day within this very nation. America is infiltrated by its own modern day Trojan horse, but rather than being made of metal or wood, it is made of the ideas and movements. Rather, the Greek soldiers hiding within to ambush the Trojans, leftists have already begun spreading oppression in a way that is difficult for conservatives and Republicans to fight back. A political Trojan war is waging, and that is slowly destroying America, but is not too late to turn its tides to better this once again great nation. Author Brad Roberts explores how the left has infiltrated major institutions, destroying America from the inside in its debut, Trojan Horse, How the Left is Destroying America, and it goes on and on and on. My favorite chapter is about debunking police brutality. We go through 60 years of research on that alone. The abortion chapter is pretty great as well because I walk you through the beginnings of abortion, going back to ancient Egypt, and then I walk you through the Supreme Court cases in a holistic view. So I think that's a great chapter as well. Those are my two favorite. Had to wait for payday. Better late than never. Well, I appreciate you sitting there sacrificing some of your hard-earned money to go towards the book that was written. Thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it. Bidenomics is not fun for anybody here. Her briefing has 555 dislikes on the White House YouTube. Does it really? I can't see dislikes. How do you guys can see dislikes? Do I have to like it? Oh, well, I can't even see that. How do you guys see that? The heck? Like a boomer. Well, while we're waiting, we might jump in some news here. Let's look at some breaking news. What the heck's going on around the world here? You got to Maxine Waters. So Maxine Waters commits to her role as top Biden surrogate. I'm going to work as hard as I can for him. I'm going to go to several states. Oh, isn't that lovely? Here's this psycho.
I am going to work as hard as I can for him. I'm going to go to several states. I believe that he deserves our support. That's all I can speak about is me.
But do you think he can actually win?
Biden is going to win. The team Biden-Harris is going to win. I am going.
Jeez, man. Holy Lord, that's the Democrat Party right there summed up. That poor lady. And the New York Post, another page 6. Another page 6. There's Karine Jean-Pierre. Biden medical mystery. White House stonewalls on repeat visits by Parkinson's expert. So she made it on page 6, dodging everybody's question yesterday and pissing off reporters in that briefing room. She is now 50 minutes late to her own press briefing. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So I'm checking my messages. I'm trying to see if she is always this late. And right now, my contact is not looking at their phone. She could speak on all of us. Right. Add Max. They even lie to us about the time. Yeah, there. Snowflake. There you go. There's a good take. They even lie to us about the time they're gonna lie to us. Yep. She's even lying about the time her own press briefing is. Isn't that a remarkable thing? They can't say Biden without, adding Harris. Man, this is nuts. I was not expecting this. White House doctor who gave Biden glowing health report helped him cash in on business deal. That's the one we've been covering. That's one Republicans are looking into in real time. Is she drunk? That's exactly what I was thinking. As she's like, I think she's just trying to keep her dentures in. And that's not me trying to be funny. Because that's exactly what Nancy Pelosi sounds like. But she did sound drunk. And, a lot of those guys and gals do drink. Had to wait. There we go. We read that one. We got a lot of people over at Twitter. If you're just joining us again, I'm right here with all of you guys. I'm just waiting for this lady to show up to her own White House press briefing that she's scheduled with everybody else. And a lot of people are asking, do reporters just sit in that room the entire time? Some of them do, yeah. They're literally just sitting there for an hour waiting for this lady to show up to her own press briefing. Remember, they had to get there on time because they don't know when she's going to come out. Like, they give a little bit of like an announcement, like about a minute or two before. And what you'll see is they kind of scurry in from outside and they'll come in and sit down relatively quickly. Sometimes they'll work with their producers through their laptops. Some of them will record actual interviews right there on the spot. And so what they'll do is they'll turn around and their back will be to the podium and they'll do live readings there. For example, like Jackie Heinrich reports from the White House. She's a White House correspondent. And she will do kind of voiceovers for whatever segment she's going to do on Fox News for that evening. And so she'll record stuff right there. Yeah, he's going to win the same way he won in 2020. Yep. Well, we talked about that. Might as well go to it since we're waiting. Let's go back to what Elon Musk was writing. And I thought this person had a great take right here. We have it here. They are not importing Democrat voters. They are importing people's names that allows the state to broad process to generate ballots. This is an important distinction because the migrants will not use the ballots. The DNC harvesters will collect them, fill them out, Obama. Then the precinct workers will scan them and count them. That is correct. Illegals do not need to vote. They just need to exist. That is a great take that we are seeing from The Last Refuge that was also posted by Elon Musk himself. Furthermore, somebody was walking us through Texas voter registration, just like I walked everybody through the California voter registration, where you do not need to provide actual proof of citizenship in this nation. So they are going to cheat again, folks. Just be ready for all of that. That's why we need to get out to the polls here this November in a matter of 4 months. It's a big election, man. It's a big election. Some people are saying spam. I'm not sure what that means. Associated Press has a live view of reporters with sound like to listen in. Let's check that out. Okay, we'll look into the Associated Press right now. Associated Press. Let's see if they have a live. They do. There you go. I like that. Thanks for the heads up. So we'll stream this for a bit. Sometimes we get flagged. But as you see, they're just sitting in there waiting, talking to one another. I can't see if my contact is sitting down or not. I need to. Right now, the front row. So what you're seeing on the far left, I believe, is NBC. They're not in their seat right now. It's the front row to the far left. Usually, we like to see Peter Alexander in that seat. He tends to push back more than the president of the White House Correspondent Association, I think it's called. She was there yesterday. Look, if she's the president of the group, she has to act kind of a little bit more professional. So that's the seat front left. Then you have right next to her, that's where Peter Doocy or Peter Doocy or Jackie Heinrich tends to sit. And then to the right of that, you have CBS. That's where Ed O'Keefe was yesterday. So we need Ed O'Keefe in that room again. To the right of him, I forgot her name. That is the Associated Press person right in the middle. And they tend to get the first question in every time. And the further you go, you get, I believe, ABC and then CNN and stuff like that. But Philip Wegman's further in the back. James Rosen is way in the back. We will see Dapple, all of them. The blue is in a few big cities across the country. Just waiting for her to show up. We got a lot of people in the stream right now. It will only grow the closer we get. There's Simon Atiba. That poor man has been blacklisted from the White House. Dude hasn't had a question in probably, I'm not exaggerating, maybe a year and a half. She has not called on him in a year and a half. Now, I want to point something out. If Donald Trump's administration didn't call on a black man for a year and a half, what do you think they would shout? Like, what narrative do you think everybody in that room would push? That he's racist. That's what they would push. But, you know, she gets away with it. Whether you're for or against the guy, I mean, he should at least get a question in a year and a half. Dude, it's a remarkable thing. That guy shows up to work every day knowing he's not even going to get a question in. Isn't that F? It's hot in Washington, D.C. It's not fun. They sit there for an hour that they cancel. I don't think they'll cancel. No way. They'll just show up really late. Got to give Democrats credit where credit is due. They learned how to cheat better after losing in 2016. You're correct, and it's only going to get worse, Greg. It's only going to get worse. They're still going to do universal mail-in balloting. It's election week. It's no longer election day. Remember. In my place, wearing my anti-blowing smoke uniform. Simon the Goat. Hello, everyone. Hey, John, how's it going? Good to see you, sir. If you guys haven't already, support us by hitting that like button. It'd be greatly appreciated. We're just waiting for her to show up to the podium. Some people might be going, is the press briefing over? No, it hasn't even started yet. It was supposed to start an hour ago. But remember, they're more important than the best of us. Does she have her own entrance walk-up music yet? Not yet. What would that music be? What would Karine Jean-Pierre's music be? I'm sure you guys got some good stuff. I mean, dude, I'm going to run out of coffee here. Whole cup of coffee and I'm out. Ducey said she wouldn't pick him yesterday, and we know why. Yeah, we do know why. She already got destroyed by Ed O'Keefe. She got destroyed by an outlet that tends to favor her and is kind to her. She couldn't take anymore. Peter Doocy would have destroyed her like Donald Trump destroyed Joe Biden in the last debate. The reporters should get together and not ask a question until Peter can ask a question. I've actually said on the show that I think they should all show up and then walk out. Do a protest, the fact that she's not answering their questions. I think that's what they should do. They're not going to. I mean, they're an association. I believe they're an association. And they should all work together in unison and go, look, she's not answering our questions. I mean, I said this about 2.5 years ago. 2 years ago. Do you think Biden's gonna drop off? I know we talked a lot of crap yesterday. As of right now, no. But I think it's really gonna come down to pressure from the media and his own party. But right now, what I'm seeing is they're letting off the gas. Not so much the media, but his own party. He's doing a lot of conversations behind closed doors. There was a meeting this morning with top Democrats. And as far as what was said, I don't know yet. There hasn't been much that has leaked out from that. But he's meeting a lot with a lot of Democrats. So I don't think he's going to drop out as of yet. But it needs to be this month. The reason why I say that is as we transition into August, that's when a lot of the printing and the construction of the ballots take place. And by September, that's when early voting starts. And so a lot of people are saying it needs to be within, that's why they're saying like the 40 days. Not to mention there's a lot of states that have election laws and certain criteria that need to be had and met. So the further we get closer to August, if he doesn't drop out in July, he's staying in unless there's some sort of October surprise of, Joe Biden dropping dead. God forbid. I don't wish any ill will upon him. Even though I don't like the guy, I don't wish that he'd pass away. That's crazy. But he could bow out and say, look, I do have a problem mentally or something. I'm not feeling well. Who knows? They'll come up with something. I'm making a sandwich while we wait. Good old turkey and mayo and sourdough. Make me one, Pat. I would love a sandwich. What gets me is that they told us how they were going to cheat after 2016, and everyone pretended like they didn't know what we were talking about. Doesn't that feel like it's happening right now? We said for 3 years this guy's not mentally fit to hold office. They gonna say anything about? That's weird. What's that guy doing? Still waiting. The second you guys see people walking in to fill those front left seats, we're good. That means it's going to start. So again, the second that you see NBC, Fox show up, then you know that things are going to kick off here. Everybody was wrong. Dude, she's an hour late. This is insane. Don't get mad at me, folks. Not my schedule. Not my schedule. We're waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre to show up. We're hanging on the live chat. Anything you guys have questions about, you want to donate, would love the help and support. If not, just hit that like and follow and leave us a comment down below. Would greatly support. Would appreciate your support, rather. Russell, man, wish I had some sourdough to go with my turkey. That would sound nice. USMC band totally trolled Jill Biden with the entrance music. I'll have to check that out, Greg. I have not seen that. This is what you... Wow. Rogue is spot on. This is what DEI gets you. Correct. What is it called? Time blindness? All these woke snowflakes are pushing the time blindness now. I can't be on time to work. Yeah, exactly what we're seeing here. Don't worry, you guys. She gets paid $180,000. $180,000 to be late to every press briefing and not answer anybody's questions. What a remarkable gig. You're over at Rumble. You have questions. Anything personal, too, if you guys want to know anything about me. No problem. We're an open book here. Is she seriously nearly an hour late? Yes, ma'am, she is. Bitter said, do you have her own entrance? Well, we already asked that question. I don't know what it would be. You have enough time to get another cup of coffee? Yeah, but that'll be 3 in one day. That is too much coffee for me. I wish they'd make the chat bigger. I'm supposed to wear glasses, believe it or not. I think the Jaws music is perfect for her. That is not a bad one. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. Absolutely. It's called Been Brainwashed. I saw it live in Michigan. I thought so too, especially during the interview. Karine Jean-Pierre's entrance song is Lips Are Moon. Wow, that is awesome. Just waiting. This is insane, man. Let me see if my contact has answered Nothing. Granted, they haven't looked at their phone in an hour. This is a new record. Yeah, this is. Oh, I don't know if that's the mic pack for. I don't know if that's the mic pack for. No, that's for CBS. So that's either for Wajaya or that's for Ed O'Keefe, whoever's going to be in today for CBS. We're just waiting. That must be the sound guy for their crew. Who's the? I can't tell you the contact, Neil. I'm sorry. You'll just have to. One of those things you'll just have to trust me. Let me hear. See if I can hear. So I heard them say, "Can you update us?" And she just completely ignored them. That's awesome. That's really respectful of their time. Like, did Kirby actually say that Biden will have a good boy / big boy presser soon? Yes, Greg. And that comes from, I forgot the reporter's name. Somebody asked on Tuesday, will Joe Biden be doing a big boy press conference or presser? And they're kind of carrying forward with that messaging. It's insane that they're actually carrying forward with it. They brought it up on Wednesday and they brought it up yesterday as well. Remember telling my grandson good. Yeah, it just shows you again that they don't think about like perception, PR, things like that. I mean, most of the stuff with the president is about PR. So I don't know. John got himself a cup. Absolutely. Nice job, sir. I do not have kids. No. I am 35, no kids. California's expensive, so I work a lot. Not saying that's an excuse not to have kids, but I got certain things that I want to make sure that I have in line so that when I do have kids, they can have the best life possible. So no kids as of yet. I'll mute that. Our theme song should be from the Muppets. That's a good one, too. Never is too much coffee. Absolutely. Perhaps that guy is putting whoopee cushions on the seats. Sabotaging. Absolutely. Love that. Did you know about Steve Bannon? What do you mean specifically? That he was thrown in prison? Which just sucks. I mean, look. If he's going to be thrown in prison, Merrick Garland should be thrown in prison, right? But we're not going to get that because it's a two-tier justice system. It's in favor of the Democrat Party and always has been and always will be unless something changes. I do believe they cheated in Michigan in 2020 because I was living there and then it was all over the news. Yeah, look, like cheating definitely did happen. There's no question that cheating took place, right? I've always gave my honest take. I'm kind of... Sometimes I'm evidence driven, sometimes I'm not. And the reason why I say that is just because you run some sort of study doesn't mean that study is the actual outcome of what's really happening. I'll give you an example. Joe Biden had a study in a nutshell. He had an examination in February, a physical by his doctor. And his doctor said, this guy's awesome. He's sharp. He's fit. He can hold office. He can do the responsibilities of the presidency. But that was a captured moment in time. And it's not a realistic viewpoint of what Joe Biden acts like every single day. In the same way is that there's evidence that's given that isn't a great representation of what's really taking place. And so we know there was cheating. We know there was fraud in the last election. And that's why I don't think it's a great question to go, oh, well, was it a fair election? Do you support it? Well, no, it wasn't really a fair election because no party, Republican or Democrat, isn't willing to look into election fraud, which will always raise questions from Democrats and Republicans if the nominee or furthermore the president-elect actually won the election. Nobody's going to know because we all know there was voter fraud. Now, it's not uncommon for Democrats to shout it's not legit, it's not real. I mean, hell, Hillary Clinton is still doing that to this day. She's blaming everybody and everybody other than herself for what took place in 2016. So 100% there's voter fraud. I mean, we even did a statistic about 6 months to a year ago showing people acknowledging the fact that they lied. You know what? Actually, let me do this. While we're doing that, let me cue this up in real time. Speaking of that, I got you. I'll take care of you guys. This is what we do here, baby. This is real-time show. We have it right here. Check this out. This is how quick we pull stuff up for you. Here's a person in real time turning in multiple ballots on CNN.
The only ballot drop box in Cuyahoga County, Ohio. You can see this woman right here casting her vote. Did you vote for Reagan or Jimmy Carter? Carter, okay.
Folks, she is stuffing a ballot box with ballots. In real time, CNN caught this.
I'm going to get too personal with people here, but you can see there's
Fairest election ever, you guys. Fairest election ever. Unbelievable. You know what we should do in this chat over here? There's a chat on Associated Press. Head over to the Bald Brad Show for live conservative news. There we go. Head over to Bald Brad. That's what we do. We'll sit there and raid the Associated Press. What else do we have here in the live chat from all of you? Ohio farm girl, longtime viewer of the Bald Brad Show. Maybe she's gained ethics and morals and is tired of being a lying POS. Maybe. I doubt it. I doubt it. That's asking for a miracle. It's a good cup, too. Oh, you know what, John? Cheers to you, my friend. If anybody else having a cup of coffee, tea, or even a glass of water, hell, some of you might be drinking. It is 5 o'clock somewhere around the world. 2,000 Mules. You know what, Sean? Oddly enough, I have not read the book or seen the movie. Just something to throw at you. You know, a documentary is supposed to have a narrative behind it and show you certain things. There is some truth to what he did, meaning Dinesh D'Souza, who we love here. I'm a big fan of Dinesh. I've read multiples of his book. The Big Lie is a phenomenal book. If you haven't bought in The Big Lie, that is a great book by Dinesh D'Souza. There are some things and some issues with the tracking, but he does build a strong case for election fraud. We know it took place. The question is, was there enough votes for Biden that would have swung the election? I'm not sure. Was there election interference? I'll tell you the election interference that would have swung the vote is the Hunter Biden laptop. We know that 17% of voters would have shifted away from Joe Biden. That doesn't mean they would have voted for Trump. They just would have shifted away from the Democrat vote altogether, and Donald Trump would have been in office. So that there alone, in my opinion, is election interference, and that should be fully investigated to the extent of the law, and they're not going to do it, though. So there's a lot of things that took place. The fact that Democrats are saying it was a normal election, it wasn't normal. By far, it was the wildest thing we've ever seen in politics. Oh, we're getting a cheer. Somebody's having a little good something. Having a big red soda. What's a big red soda? Big Weave, thank you so much, sir. Longtime supporter of the Bald Brad Show. $5. Worst administration ever. Not even close. Damn right, sir. That deserves a salute right there. Thank you so much for contributing your hard-earned money to the cause and this movement of the Bald Brad Army. We are growing here, folks. We're not going anywhere. And when I say this, you guys, let me be like, how do I put it? I don't want to say sincere because I'm always sincere. I always give you guys what I take. But, you know, some of this is for show, right? I'm not this animated in real life. I am a quiet introvert person. I stick to myself. I read by myself most of the time. I don't talk to too many people. I got a small group of friends. But me being on here, just so you know, and this is why I appreciate you guys always in here with me. This is when I'm being sincere. Like real. Is I am putting my entire career on the line doing the show. Like, just so everyone knows that there is a possibility here that one day this is going to be it. You know what I mean? And I might lose a job over this, if that makes sense. So it's not one of those things where I'm just kind of speaking out of my ass here. I'm putting everything on the line for this thing I'm building. You know, that's as real as it gets. People, there's people in my line of work that don't like the things I say and I do. You know what I mean? So that doesn't mean I bring what I'm talking about here into the workplace. That is far from it. I don't talk about politics in the workplace. I don't want to talk about politics in the workplace. What I'm just saying is a lot of people think they see what they see on camera and go, oh, well, that's what that person's like 24/7. No, it's not. I'm telling you right now, I don't talk. I'm like a mute. I'm a very quiet person in real life. Like if you guys walked up to me in person, at one, I'd be shocked. And two, I wouldn't know what to say. So carry on the conversation if you ever meet me in person. Brad, you never had Big Red. I like it. I think I did have Big Red. I don't remember. I remember seeing the can. Name of soda is Big Red. Not too bad, actually. Used to get it as a kid. I've heard of it. I just haven't seen it. 180,000 votes in Georgia. Yeah, it raises eyebrows, huh, Jason? A lot of it raises eyebrows. I'm running on Monster. Golden Girls drinking Monster. What type of Monster are you drinking? The entire Biden administration looks like they are, yeah, created by Saturday Night Live skit. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hit that spot on. It is a gong show. It's a clown show. We got a lot of people over at Twitter. We got a lot of people over at Rumble and YouTube. My husband is a truck driver that I see 12 hours a year. You all are my, it blocks it off. The heart blocks it off for me. I don't know if I can bypass that. The outside world, so thank you. No, thank you for hanging out with us, man. I'm telling you, Autumn, we got a great community here. I will continue to say that. That was one of the big objectives for me when building this channel, is to have a community like this. And it's for long as I can, right, because we're growing, is to know everybody's name. And that's why you see me going, oh, they're a longtime supporter. Oh, they've been subscribed for a long time. And that's why I think it's so important to comment, because when I read the comments, it helps me build and remember your guys' name. And so that's why when Sunset transferred over to Rumble and she had a different username, that's why I didn't recognize it. But when she goes, oh, it's Sunset, I go, oh, okay, I know who you are then. So I try my best to really know everybody's name. And that's why it's also great to become a member. And that's why I made it only 99 cents, is I could see your guys' comments before anybody else. So you can't see it from my end, but we get 14 to 15,000 comments a month. It's just sound. We have sound. I just don't want to have myself drawn out by banter in the background, but we're waiting. Dude, this is nuts. An hour 15. Can you guys believe this? At least we get to hang out with Patriots, man. This is nuts. I've never seen this. I've been covering her since the channel started. I've actually never seen a press briefing go this late in terms of starting. Oh, I just lost my husband last... What? Oh, God. Oh, are definitely a part of my family now. Oh, Margaret, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible to hear. That's tough. Well, our prayers are with you. You are more than welcome to always hang out in here with all of us. That's important to have a family and a community. Not even just like-minded people. I mean, at the end of the day, politics goes out the window. Do you know what I mean? So we're always here for you. Just know you have a family here. That's for damn sure. Sorry for your loss. Why is there a watermelon in front of the podium? Oh my God. I don't even know why I read that. It's known as a big red dapple. Yeah, shout out to Margaret. A lot of prayers, you guys. We have a lot of people of faith. Tonight, or whenever you get free time, send a prayer to her. Pray for her husband that has moved on. Absolutely. We got to love each other and show each other respect. I love Rumble. So glad you started over here. Me too, Big Weave. Like I said, there was Dylan in the chat. I don't know, Dylan, are you still here watching? Dylan is over at Rumble. He works for Rumble. He was in here earlier. Let me tell you guys, I've been open. Rumble has treated me way better than YouTube ever has. So that's why I was doing a lot of test streams last week. I wanted to get Rumble to be our main hub in terms of outsourcing all our stuff. So Dylan is here. There you go. Can we get a shout out for Dylan in YouTube? Can we get a shout out for Dylan in the Rumble chat? I'm telling you guys, this guy is the man. He is awesome. When I talk about customer service, when I talk about a guy that is one of the best, Dylan's it, man. You're damn right I'm hyping that guy up. I told my wife, I was like, I couldn't believe the care he has shown us. So we're trying to grow over here on Rumble. YouTube is in the past, folks. We'll still be on YouTube, of course. We've already built an audience over there, but the audience is trying to be built over at Rumble. That's where it's at. Just last week, we're at 300 followers. We're now at 600. We are going to grow exponentially. Dylan, I'm going to make Rumble the biggest platform for the Bob Brad Show, man. Let me tell you, we are going to make Rumble big here on the Bob Brad Show. It's going to be one of the biggest shows in the future. That is my dream and my hope, and I think we're going to make it happen here. We got a lot of Patriots that love this, and we're going to build it there on Rumble with you, my friend. I'm sorry my cousin passed away yesterday as well. Geez, a lot of people are passing away. We got really negative here. Really negative. You know who else might pass away? Joe Biden in the next, 4 months. God forbid. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope that doesn't happen. We're still waiting. Dude, I can't believe this. Like I said, I've covered almost every single White House press briefing since our channel started. And I have never seen her this late before. I'm trying to see if let me try another contact in the White House. Oh, no, they're active. This is crazy. All right, so my contact I know is on their phone right now. There we go. Dylan's getting shout outs. That's what I love to see. Shout outs. Oh, here we go. What's going on? Hold on, let me listen in. Nothing. I saw a reporter walk in, so I thought maybe there'd be something there, but nope, we're just waiting. She's scared. She could be. Something's going on. This is weird. I mean, nobody's come out, excuse me, as far as my understanding, explain to them what's going on. Could you pin the Rumble in the YouTube chat? Absolutely. Yes, sir. I can. So if you want to watch us live, I will give you the actual link to the live stream itself. It's right there for you. If you click on that, it will take us over or take you over to Rumble. You can watch us live right over there. Same stream, same place. We actually, if it means anything, usually Rumble has more people watching than YouTube does. Willie's here. They should show a movie while we wait. That's not a bad idea, man. Going to have to leave y'all soon. Good to be. I get you. I get you. We'd hope that you stay, though. Something happened with Biden. It could be. Remember, there was I don't know if it was true or not. There was rumors swirling that something did happen to Joe Biden on Air Force One, and then they said that wasn't true. So I don't know. They said there was a medical emergency on Air Force One that it has to do with the president. This was 2 days ago, maybe longer. And then allegedly it was not true. The campaign said that's not real. He came down the big staircase. Now it's supposed to build credibility that nothing happened to him. So I don't know. Yeah, so something happened with Biden. John, I get it, my guy. It's like having a hard time paying insurance. Yeah, absolutely. We need Jeopardy music. Hey, there's a cognitive test. See if Joe Biden can recall anything from his past and have it be a Jeopardy game. $200. Joe, what is your first name? Who is Kamala? Joe, we set you up. Your name was in the question. Joe, what's your name? This is why you guys prepare. Look at this is how you know that we prepare for breast briefings, because we're double fisting. We got coffee and then we got our vitamins. Jesus. Yo, this is nuts, you guys. I was not expecting this. All right, well, he didn't look at my message. Let me, you know what? Let me try my other contact that's in the briefing room. Forgive me, you guys. I still see ya. All right, I reached out to my other content. Joker! Love that name. That's actually my gamer tag, Joker. Welcome, good sir or good gal. Don't know which one. Maybe she got stuck on the potty. Oh my God. What the hell's going on, dude? I don't know. This is crazy. We got a lot of people hanging in there, though. Some people are moving. Yeah, there you go. Joe, what is the name of the country you are president? He might say Ukraine, so careful with that one. Big news. She is scared to announce. If you are being held hostage, Karine, blink twice. That's what we said about Joe. Like, Joe, if your family's holding you hostage and making you be president, let us know. Joe is in a shitty situation. I mean, dude, an hour and a half, though? I don't know. You think? I don't think she's going to cancel, Miriam. I mean, to have these people sit here. Maybe. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Can I recall a press briefing being canceled like as we're waiting. I don't know. Let me listen in here. Let me see. They're not saying anything, so I don't know. We'll know when it starts, because like I said, you'll see the reporters kind of rush into their chairs. We're trying to oh, here we go. Hold on a second. I couldn't hear what he said. I think she said something like she is coming or something. I don't know. Hey, Tarbox, thank you for jumping over to Rumble. Greatly appreciated. Again, this is the platform of free speech. If you're just now joining us, we're waiting for her to show up to her own press briefing. It's been an hour and 25 minutes since she was supposed to be on that podium. I haven't seen anything like it. Like I said, we've been covering these for three and a half years. Wild stuff. Brian in Thailand. This is so close to Dem's house and Senate meetings, correct? I'm just going to have to bring my headphones with me to the doctor's office. Take us with you, Nola. You know what? Don't even bring your headphones. Let everybody listen live. Maybe they need some truth. If they're saying, hey, who are you listening to? You're listening to the Bald Brad Show. Like and subscribe. A fine podium.
Historical moment. I think it's all right.
I'm trying to see if they say anything. Damn, this is nuts, man. The contacts that I have that are White House correspondents have not read my message, or messages, I should say. I just want to figure out like what's going on. Like, why is there a holdup, and see if they know anything for us. I wonder what her record for lateness is. Maybe this. Green's been around for a while. Good to see you, Green. I think this is the record, dude. This is the record. Play it loud, Bald Brad Show. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Rogue Runner. This is nuts, man. I was not expecting this. Yo. Everyone's here for the press briefing. There's no press briefing right now. We're still waiting. If you're joining us, look, I don't call the shots, man. I am just here as much as all of you are. Bad news does not get better with time. That is correct. Here to serve. Secret agent is one of the best. Like I said, I'm thinking about making a secret agent, specifically an Agent 355 Bald Brad Show shirt for the ladies only. Agent 355 is a secret spy from the Revolutionary War times that was part of the Kulper Ring, which was a secret spy group that was headed by Agent 711. I think it was 711, was George Washington's code name or code number. So we got a Kulper Ring agent in here. Well, I just don't understand. Like, why make the meeting if you're going to be an hour and a half late? You know what I mean? Like, what is happening that's so important? That is there another meeting going on? Let me see. Let me see here real quick. So let me go to the White House. Let's go to live. Wow. Hold on a second here. 2 o'clock. You guys might be right. She might actually cancel this. The reason why I bring that up is, let me show you. The president is going to deliver his remarks on the 7th, the NATO, at 2 o'clock. So that's in 2 hours. So maybe, this is crazy. I don't know. I mean, Associated Press chat is blowing up. That's for sure. So I don't know what the heck's going on over here. Let's check out our chat, though. The most important one, P. Diddy called to give them some exit advice. That might be true. Who knows? Her wig got stuck somewhere. Wow. Holy lordy. Yeah, this is nuts, you guys. I've never seen this. It's a first for me. Well, while we're waiting, let's get back to some news then. We always got stuff prepared for you guys. We're never in limbo. We always have stuff ready to go. Well, Cori Bush came out about 20 minutes ago and said that Biden is totally fine, and any questions about his cognitive decline are products of a vast right-wing conspiracy. So they're still pushing this messaging that it's all cheap fakes, deep fakes. You guys, this is like 20 minutes ago. Here we go.
Congresswoman, can you describe the temperature in the room?
Biden right now.
Right now, the same right-wing influences that are trying to take me down are trying to take down President Biden. So that's where my head is. But I'm listening to my colleagues and I'm listening to my constituents. At the end of the day, we got to beat back these right-wing influences.
Oh, we gotta beat back these right-wing influencers, folks. She's talking about us here. She's talking about the Bald Brad Show. You guys are conspiracy theorists. You're right-wing extremists, you guys. Oh, God, when is it going to end? When are they going to stop gaslighting the American people? That's the real question. They've been pushing this charade for far too long. Far too long. Wild stuff. I've been watching the Bleep show for years. She's never been on time. That's where you're losing me. She has, yeah, correct. She's never been on time. But what we're saying is, we're going on almost 2 hours, and everybody's still sitting there. Everybody's still sitting there waiting for Karine Jean-Pierre to show up. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, I tried to reach out to 2 people that are White House correspondents, and I'm trying to get an update, and they're not even looking at their stuff, so I don't know. Fallen Angel has been a long-time subscriber. Good to see you. Yeah, call the White House number. There you go. What the hell's going on? If you have to keep pushing a narrative, something's up. Yep. She's watching Star Wars Acolytes. Did you guys hear about that? Rotten Tomatoes, Disney removed all reviews for all their stuff off of Rotten Tomatoes. So if you're somebody that uses Rotten Tomatoes, go there now. I'm telling you, you're not going to see any Disney stuff in terms of like people like us just voting whether we like something or not. They removed all their stuff, which is a crazy thing. Brad, this is what I was talking about. Look at President's schedule. Am I missing something? What do you mean, President's schedule? I don't understand. Let me see. Am I missing something? Press briefing. That's Tuesday. What's today? Is the 9th? Press briefing. Are you saying they moved it? Oh, okay. It's going to happen soon. Here we go. All right, so Ed O'Keefe just sat down, and the White House camera is live, so it should be starting soon. So the fact that, let me mute this real quick. The fact that, one, their camera went live, that's why we watched the whitehouse.gov, because that's a good indicator, and now everybody's walking in the room. Here we go. All right, so we got Ed O'Keefe, good. He's the one that lost his shit yesterday. We love him. He's been doing good the last 2 years. You got Peter Doocy, maybe get a question in. I will say my contact is in the room. So, Oh, here we go. Okay. One of my other contacts just messaged me. They don't know either. Okay, so they didn't get the warning. Okay, cool. All right. Perfect. Here we go. All right, that was nice of her. All right, wow. Okay, I just basically gave away one of them. Well, we'll see what the excuse was. So they don't even know. Kind of what I was told, and maybe for the holdup, was the fact that Democrats were speaking on the Hill, and they didn't want to overshadow that. Is that the reason? Don't know, but they were given the warning. Here we go. She's coming up to the podium. Buckle up, folks.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Really sorry for the delay. I just got out of the Oval Office with the president, who wanted me to relay a few new messages to you all on Hurricane Beryl. This is important to him, and he knows it's important to the people of Texas, so he wanted to make sure that before I came out here, I had all of this information. So, the president spoke with Houston Mayor Whitmire and Harris County Judge Lena Hidalgo about the impacts of Hurricane Beryl, and they both asked for help from the federal government. Because of the governor of Texas is currently out of the country, the president then called the lieutenant governor of Texas to ensure that Texans are getting the resources they need and deserve following this devastating storm. On the call, the president raised the need for a major disaster declaration and immediately approved it while on the call when the lieutenant governor requested it. With this major disaster declaration in place, we will be able to provide life-saving and life-sustaining activities. The president and his team have been working around the clock for the past 2 days to ensure Texas has the resources and tools needed to respond to Beryl and keep Americans safe. Officials from the U.S. Coast Guard and FEMA have been on the ground, and senior White House officials have been in constant contact with their counterparts. While the storm has passed, our greatest concern right now is power outages and extreme heat. So we want to encourage residents to remain vigilant as temperatures rise, especially older adults and those with underlying health conditions. Fortunately, 800,000 have had power restored overnight, and we expect another 1 million to have their power restored today. The federal government has also offered generators to help reduce the impact of the power outages. The president continues to take decisive action to help the people of Texas recover, and he looks forward to working with the state to get more critical resources to the people that need them. I also want to share one additional scheduling item with all of you as well at the top. In addition to many NATO meetings we announced yesterday, on Thursday afternoon, President Biden will meet with President Zelensky of Ukraine to discuss our unwavering support for Ukraine as it continues to defend itself from Russian aggression. That meeting will be at 1:30 p.m. at the Convention Center, which, as you all know, is where the NATO sessions are being held, and it will take place just before the NATO-Ukraine Council meeting. This will be the third meeting between both presidents in recent weeks, following their sit-down in France and also a sit-down at the G7 in Italy, and it will further demonstrate the strength of the partnership between our countries. And finally, just a personal note here, I want to say a few words about Sam Michel here, who served as acting deputy press secretary for a good part of this year. We are sad that today is indeed his last day, but we are so grateful for
Jumping
his service.
ship.
And
Good
he
call.
has been an incredible colleague. We were lucky to have him on our team, on our press team. His sharpness, his ability to stay calm under pressure, and his strategic thinking has been a real asset to us all. Sam, you will be greatly missed. Thank you so much for being on the team and stepping in when we really needed you. Okay, all right, Sung Ming.
Thank you. Just wanted to get a clarification on the letter that was sent last night.
Sure, absolutely.
From Dr. O'Connor. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it didn't seem to explicitly describe the nature of Dr. Kennard's meeting with Dr. O'Connor. So can you say whether that one meeting was related to care for the president himself?
I can say that it was not.
It was not. Okay, that's great. And can I just ask why that information that was released last night just wasn't said at the briefing yesterday?
Well, no. Actually, a lot of what is in the letter was said at the briefing, to be very, very clear. I said many of the things that were laid out in the letter was actually repeated right here behind this lectern at this podium yesterday. It was
said that.
Hold on. I said many of the things, and we got clarification, obviously, from Dr. O'Connor, but it was in line with what I said. When I said only 3, right? I said only 3 visits that this particular doctor had. I said a neurologist. What I was not able to confirm is the name, and the reason why is because we do not share private information. That is something that we respect, and we wanted to make sure that we protected our consultants here that work with the White House Medical Unit, their security as well. And so that is the one thing that I was not able to confirm. Obviously, Dr. O'Connor's letter confirms that, but we had to get permission from Dr. Kennard and also the president in order to put that information. And it is not normal, and that also states that in Dr. O'Connor. But many of the things that I said right here at this podium is in the letter.
And can I just also ask a little, this is the second time in less than a week where the briefing had prompted a need for later clarification on questions about the president's health. And I'm just wondering if you could speak to...
So I disagree. I disagree, Sungmin. It's not. Yesterday, a lot of the things that I said right here in this briefing room, I know you were not in the briefing room, it's in the letter. It was in the letter. It was being incorrectly assumed and insinuated that the president had seen Dr. Kennard more than 3 times. I said that it was only 3 times that the president had seen a neurologist. I didn't confirm the name, but I did say it was only 3 times. It was being incorrectly assumed and insinuated that the president was being treated for Parkinson's. I said right here that the president was not being treated for Parkinson's. I actually went a step further and said he wasn't taking medication for Parkinson's. I said that right here. It was also being assumed and insinuated that Dr. Kennard was someone who only worked on Parkinson's when in fact he's a general neurologist. That was something that Dr. O'Connor was actually able to confirm, that he was a general neurologist, not in fact a general neurologist. And we also wanted to set the record straight. And so it is important. We believe it was important to all of you. I actually even said here at the podium, if there was more information that we could provide, we would do that. We would do that. And we did. But many of the things that I said right here is in the letter. Is in the letter.
Does the president feel like he's beat back this effort to force him to step aside?
Look, you heard the president yesterday when he called into Morning Joe, did about 18 minutes of Q&A yesterday morning. He spoke very, very, I think, forcefully, passionately about where he stands, about how he sees things moving forward. And we also have said many times, we respect members of Congress, we respect their view, but I also want to say there's a long list of congressional members who have been very clear and in support of this president, whether it's the CBC, who gave a full support, the Congressional Black Caucus, for folks who are watching and are not sure what CBC is. They were very much supportive. They said, we think that, this is Representative Joyce Beatty, to be clear, we think that the call went extremely well. The president was very responsive. Representative Troy Carter, who's also a member of the CBC, he was elated to hear directly from the president, and that he is all in, and we are all in with him. You got a Congressional Hispanic Caucus. They put out a statement in full support of this president, and there are others. And so, look, he is going to focus on continuing to work on behalf of the American people, continuing to build on an unprecedented record that he's been able to get done with many of these congressional members that he's proud to have worked with.
What a spin.
But that's his focus right now. That's his focus.
He's still talking to more people, more.
He's going to
members of
continue
Congress.
to engage, as you saw him in Pennsylvania when he was when he was in the Commonwealth on the road. He had two of the senators, 2 of the congressional members with him, the House members with him. He's going to be traveling later in the week He's going to be engaging. I mentioned yesterday his robust schedule for the next 2 weeks. When he's in state, he certainly will continue to engage. I don't have a list of additional calls to read out, but he did CBC last night, Congressional Black Caucus, and he's going to continue and engage as he has been. Go ahead, Mary.
To follow on that, the president has made clear he's done talking about the debate. It is time to move on.
Yeah.
But some of his allies have made clear they're very much still in this wait and see mode. I mean, Senator Patty Murray saying he must do more to demonstrate he can campaign strong enough to beat Trump. Senator Durbin saying he's concerned whether this is just a one-off or a larger issue. So I guess, how worried is the president that despite his best efforts, he's not going to be able to close the book on these concerns?
And Mary, I appreciate the question, but as you know, there are hundreds of members in Congress, hundreds. And I laid out a list of folks who have supported him. We've heard from Senator Coons, we've heard from Senator Fetterman. There's support there as well for him. And so we just want to make sure that...
Did you see the messaging, though?
Absolutely, absolutely. And look, Representative Gregory Meeks said, coming out of the Congressional Democrats meeting, said that they're united. And you just saw the Dem caucus leadership take questions from some of your colleagues over at the Capitol. So that is important as well to note. But look, he had a bad night. We've talked about it. He understands people's concerns. We have been out there, as we have been in previous months, but out there obviously in the past 10 days, more than 10 days now, since the debate. And you see from his engagement with everyday people on the ground, you see him with congressional members who are showing their support, speaking on behalf of this president while we're on the ground in that respective state or Commonwealth, being where we were in Pennsylvania on Sunday. And so we're just going to continue that. But look, what I can say is, look, we respect people's opinion. You just mentioned 2 senators that we were very proud working with over the past 3.5 years to get historic legislation done, and that's what we want to focus on. You're right, we do want to turn the page. You heard me say this last week. We want to get to the other side of this. We want to continue doing the work, and that's what
put the president on the podium.
Just to be clear, does he have plans to talk with leadership again soon?
I don't have any calls. We don't have calls to read out or to preview. He is going to continue to engage. I just don't have anything right now to share at this moment. He talked to CBC, again, the Congressional Black Caucus members yesterday. They had a very, very good call, and so he's going to continue to engage.
Okay. Thanks, Karine. The White House has obviously fielded a lot of questions in recent days about the president's health, whether the White House has been forthcoming or not about that issue, and I just wondered, have the last 12 days made you reconsider any specific statements that you might have made in recent months on that issue?
I appreciate the question. I really do, and the opportunity. I think there has been moments here when I have said, and especially in the gaggle, I think, and actually yesterday, if I have, misled in something that I've said or haven't had the full information, I actually own up to that. And I actually say, I will do my best to get you the information. Hence the letter for Dr. O'Connor.
Unbelievable.
Right? And so,
what's up, Randy?
I will, I've always said, I've always been committed to doing the best I can to give you the information that we have. That is a commitment from the team. It has been an unprecedented time. I think you guys could admit that, right? It is an unprecedented time. And so we are meeting the moment, a new moment that has never really existed before. And so we want to make sure that we get you all the information that we have. And when we don't have it, we do try our best to provide that information. And so that is something that I'm going to continue to do. And I've always said, it is an honor and a privilege to be standing in front of you every day, exercising in the freedom of the press. This is a briefing that is watched around the world, because we lead in democracy, right? We lead in the freedom of the press and what that looks like. Honor and privilege, and I will continue to do my best to do just that.
And we certainly understand, you speak on behalf of the president and you defend him, his actions, his positions, his policy positions included. Could I just ask you about one example, just going back, that comes to mind? September.
In the past, you're talking about the last 12 days?
I'm talking about
recent
months.
No, well, you just said recently. It's been,
She's about to call her out. Watch this.
Back and forth, and so in the last 12 days or so. That's how I believe that's how you asked me the question.
I was talking generally.
Okay.
But if I could just ask you about one example.
I mean, look, if you're going to ask me about something from months ago, it probably would be fair for me to. I probably won't be able to answer that right away, whatever it is that
Oh, come on, she knows.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. But it's also to say, hey, from September of whenever year, right? That is something that I probably should give a little space to kind of see exactly what you're speaking of.
Okay, and that's fine if that ends up being
I just want to make
your
sure that
response.
we
Sure.
kind of give some context here.
Yeah. And you'll remember this. This was an event where the president called out Congresswoman Jackie Walorski, looked for her in the room even though she had recently died.
Yes.
You told multiple reporters at the time, and this was
Top
asked
of mind.
multiple different ways.
She was top of mind.
Right.
Yep.
It was because she was top of mind for the president. I mean, would you, on that example, would you offer a different explanation?
I would not, because honestly, I spoke to the president right before coming out that day, and that is what the president told me. It's not something that came from me. That is something that came from the president.
So he was saying, even as he was
She-
looking for
that-
her in the moment, it wasn't a
She was
misspeak.
top. She was top of mind.
Okay.
That is coming, as you just said in your question. I speak for the president. I speak on behalf of him. That was coming from him, and I was delivering directly from the president
Sure.
what he was thinking at the time.
Great. A very different kind of example, and this is more recent.
Sure.
When the president was in Italy for the G7, and you remember he skipped one of the leaders' dinner, which was a major event for the summit. And I remember you were asked about it by reporters, and you said, we shouldn't read too much into the fact that he's skipping one dinner. I mean, would the explanation actually have been that he was tired and that he needed to skip something that was happening so late in the evening?
And my answer stays the same. I wouldn't read too much into it. It's not the first time.
This is exactly what we asked the press to do yesterday, was use her own quotes, use exactly what she said in the past to sit there and call her out, and they're doing exactly that. This is what we wanted. This is good.
That he has. He has a really busy schedule, and there's a lot going on. As you know, when the president is abroad, he has continued to do domestic stuff as well as meeting with global leaders. And so I truly would not read too much into it, and I will leave it there.
Okay, I have a very final question on the annual
Sure.
letter from Dr. O'Connor. He said that the president continues to be fit for duty and fully executes all of his responsibilities without any exemptions or accommodations. Just because it's been a couple of months, do you know if that statement is still accurate?
It's still accurate.
So no exemptions, no accommodations?
No exemptions, no accommodations.
Thank
It's
you.
accurate. Thank you.
Just a question. That's bullshit. I guess it's not a question, it's a statement. That's BS. The reason why I'm calling it out right now is because we know that the president asked for more accommodations of getting more rest and sleep. That's been mainstream news for the last week and a half. He's asking for more accommodations, meaning I need more sleep to do my job. She's lying right here on the podium in front of all of us.
There was an announcement from the Department of Justice today about a crackdown, an effort to interrupt a Russian state-sponsored bot operation, AI-fueled operation, to denigrate politicians in the United States and elsewhere. Do you have any concerns right now that this is the leading edge of any part of a Russian effort to interfere in the election? Has the president been briefed on this? And have you seen any evidence that the Russians or other foreign powers have tried to seize on the debate performance to repeat some of the president's most embarrassing moments?
So that's a very good question. I would have to talk to our team about those particular questions that you just asked. There were multiple questions in your statement there. I would leave it to the Department of Justice as what they announced. Obviously, that's for them to speak to. Look, AI has always been a concern. That's why the president made some announcements recently, to take executive action on how we can deal with AI. We want to see more action, more fulsome action legislatively from Congress. And that is something. It is a cutting edge technology that we need to get our hands on and get a better understanding of what it could potentially do, and so that is something that the president certainly is looking to make sure that we deal with this in a whole of government way. On those particular questions, I would have to check in with our team here, and obviously whatever's related to the Department of Justice in that statement, I would refer you to them.
Yeah, Karine, you said just a minute ago that the president wants to turn the page on the last couple of weeks and get to the other side of this, where the White House wants to. Has President Biden seen enough support over the last 36 hours from fellow Democrats in Congress to now start turning the page and look ahead? I mean, what's his reaction been to what he's seen since Congress has gotten back?
I mean, it's very similar to how I answered the question to one of your colleagues. He's very much focused on what's ahead, right? He's very much focused. He has a fulsome, robust schedule in the next 2 weeks that we laid out for all of you. He wants to focus on that, the messages that he wants to come out when he goes to Texas next week, when he goes to Vegas next week. He's going to be on the road on Friday as well. I also want to say, look, he is proud of the Congressional Black Caucus, who said they have, he has their support. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus did the same, and other members of Congress, obviously. And so, look, he wants to move forward. As your colleague said, definitely unite the party, continuing to unite the party. We heard from Representative Meeks, who said that Democrats, the congressional Democrats, came out of the meeting today united. I think that's important to note. But the president's going to move forward. He's going to move forward, and he's going to continue to go out there, engage with the American public, like you saw him do in Pennsylvania, and he's going to stay focused on that.
Does he feel like he's weathered this storm, so to speak?
Look, I think that he is more determined than ever to continue to get the job done, to continue to build an economy that works for all, to continue to make sure that we have a middle class, right, that is strong, right, that we don't have a trickle-down economy, that economy that's built from the bottom up, middle out. That's what he wants to continue to do. I think this week with the NATO summit, the 75th year of NATO, let's not forget, NATO has helped to protect Americans and also protect the world and what it's been able to do for the past 75 years. You're going to see the president engaging with 32 leaders of this alliance. I think that's really important. That's, again, on behalf of the American people. So he wants to do that. He has a lot on his mind, and as it deals with making sure we deliver for.
Yo, she just said he has a lot on his mind. Oh, it's too good.
The American people, that's what he's going to focus on. Okay, Peter, I know.
Here we go.
I know we had our chat yesterday.
Yes, thank you,
So
Karine. Does President Biden commit to serving a full second term if reelected?
Yes.
Thank you. We know the president says that his health is fine, but it's just his brain, and that he's sharpest before.
He was joking, by the way. I just want to make sure that that's out there. And he was making a lighthearted joke as he was speaking off. He's speaking off the cuff, and he was making a joke. You know the president; he likes to joke a lot. He's the same guy who says, "I know I look 40," right? So he likes to make jokes. It is a joke. I think people laugh when he says it.
Well, he
So
also
it is a
said
joke.
he's sharpest before 8 p.m. So, say that the Pentagon at some point picks up an incoming nuke. It's 11 p.m. Who do you call? The First Lady?
He has a team that lets him know of any news that is pertinent and important to the American people. He has someone that is decided, obviously, with his National Security Council on who gets to tell him that news.
So, Kevin McCarthy just said that when he was the speaker, many times when we had meetings in the Oval Office, Jill was there as well. When the First Lady's in these meetings, is she making decisions or is she just advising the president?
No, the president is the president of the United States. He makes decisions.
Okay. Another family member. President Biden has told me before, he and his son don't have any business dealings together. So what is Hunter Biden doing in White House meetings?
Are you talking about the meeting where they came together from Camp David and the two of them walked to the president's meeting and he was there?
There's a report that aides were struck by his presence during their discussions.
Look, I'm certainly not going to get into private conversations that occur. What I can say is, and I spoke to this before, is that when they came back from Camp David, the president spent a couple days at Camp David with his family. He is very close to his family, as you know. It was the week of 4th of July, which is why his family members were here last week. They walked together, and they walked together into the meeting.
Can you say if Hunter Biden has access to classified information?
No.
And are you guys just not, since February, testing President Biden for Parkinson's or for dementia? Because if he gets a bad result, it's all over that day.
Again, as I've said many times before, the president has had a fulsome, comprehensive, what we shared with you was comprehensive, but he's had a full physical. We've shown the results of those physicals this past 3 years. We showed it just 4 months ago. And it is in line with what we have done, similar to President Obama, similar to George W. Bush. We are committed to continue to be transparent. We are committed to continue to show the results of those physicals. And look, it's the president's medical team that makes the decision. We are not, with all due respect, you're not a doctor, I'm not a doctor. It is the president's medical unit that makes a decision on what the president needs.
Not a doctor, just play one on TV. But I know
that's
that
scary.
That is scary. But I know that, especially as adults get into their 80s, health conditions can pop up more than just once a year when he's getting his physical. I think if my wife saw me on TV misspeaking or saying the wrong thing or seeing a change in my appearance, she would probably say, let's go to a doctor just to make sure that you are okay, you have a family, you have an important job. Why doesn't anybody in the president's family urge him just to go to get checked out to say the coast is clear?
Okay, so just to step back just a little bit, because I think you weren't in the briefing room last week. I don't want to go backwards, but just to share a little bit about that night. The president said it was a bad night. He talked about it. He had a cold, right? He talked about his schedule, right, being abroad. And so we've spoke about what that night was like for him. And we understand what the American people saw, what you all saw. We've spoken to that. And I also would say, and I think you know this, Peter, you've covered a couple of administrations at this point, that the president, every president, has a White House medical unit that is with him 24/7, that is available to him 24/7. That is unlike any other American, right? That is not the norm. That is uncommon. Just down on the other side of the colonnade is where the medical unit is. And I did share that the president checks in while he's exercising with his doctor a couple times a week. And so he has that. He has something that majority of Americans, all Americans I would probably argue, don't have, which is a full medical unit that is with him at all times. And he gets a full physical, annual physical that we share with all of you. And that is very different than an everyday American who sometimes they're lucky if they can go get a physical. They have to get into a car. They have to take public transportation. The president has, again, a medical unit that's with him here at the White House and travels with him.
So I guess the question is just, you're saying this is not a situation where you would rather just not know if there is an issue with the president, because if he does get a bad result, it is all over. He has to leave office right away, can't run for re-election.
First of all, it's a hypothetical, right? That you're giving me a hypothetical. But I will also say, just to clear this up, the White House medical unit, his doctor, they don't believe that he needs anything more than what we have been able to provide. A full, detailed, very comprehensive physical that he had 4 months ago. It is their decision to make. It's not yours. It's not mine. It's the White House medical unit. Okay.
Hi, Karine. You mentioned that the Democratic Party was united, perhaps the leadership, but a lot of rank-and-file Democrats have a lot of concerns. One of them, Steve Cohen, said today, not only are they not on the same page, but they're not even in the same book. How does the White House, is the White House concerned about that?
Look, I've said before, right, we respect congressional members. They have their opinions. We respect their opinions. Many of them that we had to opportunities to deliver really good results on behalf of the American people. But there is the whole Congressional Black Caucus. They support the president. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus support the president. Those are pretty impressive numbers. Senator Coons, Senator Fetterman support the president. There's also another list here that shows support for this president. You're going to have some congressional members who feel differently. That is up to them, right? The president wants to continue. He's going to have those conversations. He's going to engage with congressional members. He's going to continue to do that as he has. That's not going to stop.
Wow.
Obviously, the campaign is doing their work. We're doing continuing our engagement with congressional members as we do pretty much all the time on whatever issue we want to work with them on. So that's not going to change. You heard from AOC, the Congresswoman from New York. She said the matter is closed, and I support him. Right? You heard from Maxwell Frost, who was on CNN today, was very supportive on CNN. So you do have others out there, just today or yesterday, giving support to the president. I can't, you're mentioning one person, but there are others as well. Yeah.
On a separate topic slightly, Cedric Richmond this morning, he said that the debate stage was words, the debate stage was performance. I would say look at actions and accomplishments. The president's allies have made some version of that argument to not pay attention to what he said on stage, but what his accomplishments are. But when you're the president of the United States, don't words matter?
So when you're the president of the United States, I think any leader, right, especially including a former president, your words do matter. You're 100% correct. The president has owned up to that night. He said it was a bad night. He said this many times. He's even said he screwed up. So those are the president's words. That's all I can give you at this time. We do believe that we should not just look at the 90 minutes. The president has done more than any other modern day presidents, administrations. Historic things have gotten done. When I was watching the Democratic caucus, they talked about $35 insulin, right? Capping that. When you think about seniors who are paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars, we were able to get that done because of a very important piece of legislation that we moved through, right? And only Democrats made that happen. That's also because of the leadership of this president. And that's just one. That's a bipartisan infrastructure legislation. There's the CHIPS and Science Act. There's the PACT Act for our veterans. I mean, there are things that he's been able to do that elected officials, presidents before him have been trying to do and could not get done, beating Big Pharma. So there is a long list of impressive things that this president has been able to get done, getting us out of the pandemic, that we do believe is important to note here as well as an accomplishment of this presidency.
Another question that I don't think has been asked, correct me if it has. The White House and also the campaign has said that he had a cold that night. He then went to a watch party afterwards, which you have brought up. I was at that watch party. If he did have a cold, why then push him to another event where he spent some 45 minutes along the rope line?
I mean, and not just and I would add to that, it wasn't just a watch party. We landed at 2 a.m. in the morning in North Carolina. He greeted hundreds of North Carolinians in North Carolina. He woke up the next day in North Carolina, gave a speech in front of thousands of North Carolinians. No. I'm just trying to you gave me an opportunity, and I'm just using that opportunity, obviously, to lay out what the president did in those 2.5 days. Look, one of the reasons that we shared that he had a cold is because during the debate in real time, everybody heard his hoarse voice, and folks asked, and we were able to confirm right away that he had a cold, and that he was also tested negative for COVID. So we were able to share that in real time.
It wasn't
so
the
just also want to
question.
share that. Look, he pushed forward, right? Many of us have colds, and we still push forward. He's the president of the United States. He understands how important it is to.
This is the same party that sat there and told everybody to mask up, wear 3 masks, 6 feet social distancing. You're going to kill somebody. The world is over. You're going to cripple everything. You're going to kill the elderly. If the dude had a cold, why the F? By the way, you could have tested, it could have still been positive for COVID. You did one test, it could have been wrong. And you're gonna go out there and shake people's hands, cough and shit in front of their faces? The same party. Unbelievable. Well, he pushed forward, he pushed through. Then why use the debate as an excuse that he had a cold? Clearly he was well enough to go travel at 2 a.m. and meet people and greet and cough in front of their faces.
Continue to get up every morning, regardless of how you feel, right, to get things done. That's how this president is. I'm sure that's how many presidents before him were as well, when it comes to really not letting a cold get you down. And I think that's also why he pushed forward in the debate also on that night. So, look, he pushed forward, tried to get things done, wanted to make sure that he had an opportunity. People who watched him do a debate, who were waiting for him, people at 2 o'clock in the morning in North Carolina who were waiting for him. He wanted to make sure that he engaged with Americans.
And finally, Karine, this morning House Speaker Mike Johnson said, as he has before, that Democrats have been covering up the president's mental acuity for years. How do you respond to that, and has the White House misled Americans?
So I'll say this, Americans out there, folks who are watching, who are not normally in the day-to-day of what's happening in this world, there is a comprehensive full comprehensive medical report on the website, whitehouse.gov. I would encourage them to take a look, Read that report.
Did you mislead us?
They can also read for themselves what his specialist, a group of specialists coming out of the medical unit decided on, what they examined, what they saw, what they reported on. I think that matters as well. It is a group of them that come together when it comes to doing their physical. It is extensive physical. And so there is something there for them. It's transparent, it's out there, it's for them to read, it's for the American, not just for you, for the American people to take a look. And I think that's important to note as well, and that's what I would share with them. Okay, and I'll come to you, Ed, in a second.
Thanks, Karine. The president said yesterday in his letter, in his interview, that he talked to a wide range of voters. He overwhelmingly heard from people that they wanted him to stay in the race. Our polling shows that 76% of Democrats think he is too old to run this year. How is he coming to this conclusion? Are you sure that a handful of events is giving him a representative view of swing state voters?
So look, that has been, you all have asked me about polling and his age for, I feel like a year now. It's come up many, many times. And, I'm not going to speak to polls. It's not something I'm going to do from here. I'm just going to let the experts, the pundits, and all of you.
She speaks to polls when it fits her narrative, and she doesn't speak to polls when it doesn't fit her narrative. Plain and simple, that's what's going on here. She's spoken a lot about polls in the past. She talks about polls, especially when it comes to Donald Trump. She talks about polls when, people support this thing that Joe Biden's doing. It's unbelievable.
No, wait. I was about to answer your question. Just give me a second.
Sure you were.
Look, for the past 3.5 years, the president has been out there talking to voters. And if you think about, what he was referring to when he went to Atlanta right after the watch party, he literally did a rope line. Some of your colleagues were there. Some of your colleagues spoke to some of the folks who were there and heard from them directly. He heard from folks at the rope line. I mean, these are everyday, engaging with everyday people. That's what he did. Landed at 2 a.m. in the morning in North Carolina, hundreds of people there. He did a rope line, engaged with everyday people. The next day, thousands of people were at the North Carolina event, and you heard chants, "Let's go, Joe. We love you, Joe." I mean, that's something that you feel, right? That's something that you feel out there, and that's what he feels out there. The next day, he went to New York, and he was able to speak to some supporters there, and then went to New Jersey. So it is a continuation. On Sunday, 600 people at the church. If you watch that service, you heard from that congregation. If you watched him in Harrisburg, you saw people. You saw him engaging with people. I mean, there's nothing that takes away, all respect to the polling out there, but nothing takes away, I don't think, from engaging with everyday Americans. I think that matters too. And I'm just laying out the last 10 or 12 days, right? That's just the last 10 or 12 days.
One more. Over the weekend,
she has to list the last 10 or 12 days because there's nothing beyond that. Joe hasn't done shit. The dude's taken more vacation than any president in modern history. That's no exaggeration by any means. The dude sleeps all day. He doesn't do anything. He only works from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., and that's being generous. We know there's reports out there from his own aides that he's only working from noon to 4 hours a day on top of all the vacation time. You don't have anything beyond the next 10 to 12 days. You don't have anything beyond the debate. This is what she's pushing here.
New York Times reported on a senior White House official who apparently had worked with the president in his vice presidency in the 2020 campaign, said he shouldn't seek re-election. They thought he was not up to it and was showing signs of his age. Just, does the White House know who this person is or made any effort to find out? And are you comfortable having someone who apparently is traveling with him and working with him this way who thinks this?
I mean, look, that is the first time I've ever heard that was in that reporting. You know, this is not the last administration where we try to find who is, you know, speaking or leaking. That's not something that we do here. Everybody has their opinion, but that is the first time I've ever heard anything like that. I've never heard anyone speak in that way from here. Get it.
To follow up on something you were saying, Gabe, about congressional outreach, has the president spoken to, does he plan to speak with any of those that have publicly called for him to go?
Look, I don't have a list of people that the president's going to call. He's going to engage with congressional members. That's something that he's going to do. I can say, you know, I'm sure folks here in his Office of Legislative Affairs has had regular communication with everyone. I just don't have a list of who he's going to speak to. But the president is always willing to speak to people who agree with him and don't agree with him. You know that about him. If you've covered him, he's very much that type of president. I just don't want to get ahead of his decision on who he's going to call and how that's going to look.
One thing I don't think we've gotten public clarification about yet. In the interview Friday night, he was asked, did you watch the debate? And he said, I don't think I did, no. Did he watch the full debate, or what of it has he watched?
You know, that's a good question. I never followed up with him, and I meant to. I have not asked him that question. I was there in the room.
$180,000. Let's do her job.
I just never followed up. You know, that is something that, you know, we could follow up with him on. I have not. Okay. I'm sure he's seen clips. I just haven't. Asked him that full question.
One other thing that's come up.
Yeah, it's getting round the clock coverage, right? From all of you.
One other thing that's come up in the last little bit, the Director of National Intelligence, Avril Haines, I don't know if you've seen this, issued a statement a little while ago saying in part, in recent weeks, Iranian government actors have sought to opportunistically take advantage of ongoing protests regarding the war in Gaza, using a playbook we've seen other actors use over the years. We've observed actors tied to Iran's government posing as activists online, seeking to encourage protests and even providing financial support to protesters. She goes on later to urge Americans to remain vigilant as they engage online with accounts and actors they don't personally know. But that's a pretty big charge to make, that Iran may be trying to influence these protests in the streets of the United States.
So yes, I know what you're speaking of, what the DNI warned about. Obviously, for any specifics, I would have to refer you back to Director Haines and her statement. But broadly speaking here, just bear with me for a second, Iran is seeking to opportunistically take advantage of protest. So I want to echo the DNI's remarks today. Americans across the political spectrum acting in good faith have sought to express their own independent views on the conflict in Gaza. The freedom to express diverse views when done peacefully is essential to our democracy. At the same time, the U.S. government has a duty to warn Americans about foreign malign influences activities. This is important to help Americans guard against efforts by foreign powers to take advantage of or co-opt their legitimate protest activities. We will continue to provide these warnings as they arise. And today I just want to convey and a firm message from here to Iran and any other foreign actor that seeks to conduct these types of influence activities, meddling in our politics and seeking to stoke division is unacceptable.
Just want to point something out. We're giving the Iranians $10 billion, billion with a B, of our hard-earned money to a bunch of people that are the leading sponsor of terrorism around the world, Karine. Okay? They're attacking our merchant vessels. 2 weeks ago, they blew one up. It's now at the bottom of the ocean. They're doing all these things, and now they're pulling this shit. But, you know, Joe's still going to give them $10 billion. No, love it. No, great job, Democrat Party. Nice job, Joe.
And we will continue to expose attempts to undermine our democracy and our society just as we are today. That is something that we will continue to do. The U.S. government will continue to vigorously support and defend Americans in their exercise of their First Amendment rights to protest and express political views peacefully. At the same time, we will continue to warn against expose foreign efforts to meddle in our internal affairs and attempt to amplify conflict. The former is an essential part of the robust functioning democracy. The latter is a threat, and it will not be tolerated.
And the president's been read into all this?
He's been briefed.
No problem with it being shared publicly?
He's been briefed, he's been read in, he is aware. And we believe, as I just stated here, it is our duty. It is our duty here as the U.S. government to share that. Okay.
I have a question about the NATO summit.
Sure.
There has been a lot of discussion about Ukraine, but also the southern flank of NATO, countries like Italy and Spain. They want the summit to approve a new strategy to improve relations with countries in North Africa, the Middle East, and work together in challenges like migration or instability. So does the U.S. support this, and is the president trying to or planning to meet with any leaders of the southern flank?
So look, I think we announced some of the bilateral. We announced the one with the UK Prime Minister. I just announced with President Zelensky. We will do our best. You know, the president is hosting the 75th NATO summit, so he's going to be pretty busy engaging with global leaders and obviously hosting the event. So if we have anything more to share, I know my colleagues at the National Security Council will do our best to share that with you. I'm not going to, we're going to have some deliverables, we're going to have some statements to make, declarations. I'm not going to get ahead of any of that. So I'm just going to let this summit begin and let the president actually lead these next couple of days.
Does the president support this strategy?
I'm saying to you, I'm not going to get ahead of the summit. We're going to have many conversations, many meetings here. I just want to be super mindful. You also asked me about any other bilateral engagements. We've already announced two, and so just don't want to get ahead of anything else. Things happen. When the president is there, he gets pulled to the side. We do pull-asides. We try to share them in real time as quickly as possible. I just don't have anything to share outside of that. Okay.
Sticking with NATO, are there any details you can share on President Biden's meeting with President Zelensky? Just any details on potentially what they might discuss? If Biden had said he would announce new air defense for Ukraine, will that come up at all?
We will definitely, there will be more air defense that we will be announcing. Don't want to get ahead of the president. Look, you saw, as I announced at the top, you saw the president do a bilat with President Zelensky in France and also at the G7. It is always, obviously, part of those conversations is to continue to show our unwavering support for Ukraine. The president has led in this effort globally, right? If you think about NATO and how the strength of NATO and how it has grown +2. And how we have been able to have a stronger alliance than we've ever had before. That's because of this president. And backing, obviously, behind Ukraine, that's because of this president. So our support continues to be unwavering, and we will have more to read out from that bilat.
And as it's the 75th anniversary, Biden's here in D.C., obviously, but what does the success look like for Biden, given everything that is going on in kind of the debate aftermath? Kind of what is he measuring?
So I'll say this, and I've said this many times before as it relates to foreign leaders. And look, I'll say that the foreign leaders have had an opportunity to see what the president has been able to do in the last 3.5 years. They've seen that certainly up close and
It's really remarkable stuff, folks. I mean, just listening to her ramble makes you almost want to fall asleep. So we might as well stay awake with a nice cup of coffee. There's a lot of coffee brands out there, but you want to find a brand that you support, a brand that shares your values, a brand that we know is a good brew. You guys know we drink every single morning together because our show's at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's a good time to say goodbye to Starbucks. We call it $5 here on the show, and say hello to Rumble's 1775 coffee, folks. Unlike other brands, this is a coffee that backs free speech and is unapologetic about it. Visit 1775coffee.com. Use promo code STUDIO to get 15% off. They're practically giving this stuff away. The coffee comes in medium and dark roast, which we love here. How do you think the beard of justice gets so thick? It comes in also peaberry, which is like a Kona coffee if you love Kona coffee. In other words, this stuff is freaking premium, baby. It lights you up. That's how we have so much energy here on the Bald Brad Show. Click the link in the live chat or the description. You can also go directly to 1775coffee.com and use promo code STUDIO, all caps, to get 15% off today, folks. Grab that discount ASAP.
While the summit, of course, is being held in Washington, China is criticizing NATO as the relic of Cold War. It's causing a high security risk to the world and the region. What is the White House response to this?
So look, Russia's aggression against Ukraine poses a threat to transatlantic security. That's what it does. And it shows how critical the NATO alliance is and how important it is to continue to make sure that it is strong. And that's what the president has been able to do. I am not surprised, we are not surprised that China doesn't understand that though considering how they are actively enabling, right? They are themselves enabling Russia's war in Ukraine, so it doesn't surprise me or surprise us that that statement was made. Look, NATO is an important alliance. It's been around for 75 years, protecting U.S. Americans, American citizens, but also the world. And so we are going to continue to strengthen that alliance.
Second question. Indian Prime Minister Modi is visiting Russia. We all seen the footage that he's hugging, being friendly with Putin, also seeking deepen bilateral relationship. We see that, so that Ukrainian President Zelensky already expressed his disappointment. Is the United States concerning that India, as a U.S. ally, might be actually adding Russia either unintentionally or intentionally?
I believe my NSC colleagues have spoken to this. I'll just add that and just reiterate that India is a strategic partner with whom we engage in full and frank dialogue, including their relationship with Russia. And we've talked about this before. So we think it's critical that all countries, including India, support efforts to realize an enduring and just peace when it comes to Ukraine. It is important for all our allies to realize this. And so we also believe India's longstanding relationship with Russia gives it the ability to urge the President Putin, to end his brutal war, an unprovoked war in Ukraine. It is for President Putin to end. President Putin started the war, and President Putin can end the war. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Karine. A couple questions on unrelated subjects. First, there's been some reporting by my colleagues in the British press that His Majesty King Charles would like to visit his grandchildren in California and could do so in conjunction with a state visit. Has there been any discussion, or will there be any discussion between President Biden and Prime Minister Starmer about such a visit?
So I don't have anything to share. That is something, obviously, that the State Department and NSC would certainly engage on if that were to be the case. As you know, the new Prime Minister will be here for the NATO alliance. I just mentioned that there will be a bilat between President Biden and the new Prime Minister, so the President looks forward to that. An upcoming visit that involves the King Charles. I don't have anything to share at this time.
Okay, next question. The President yesterday on Morning Joe said he wanted to make sure that the average voter out there still wants Joe Biden to be running for president. And you've rattled off a long list of campaign engagements that he's had over the last 10 or so days since the debate. Those engagements, whenever the president travels, whether it's part of the campaign or official travel, there are advance teams. People who get near him are screened either by the Secret Service or the campaign.
Bingo.
Both. So how are these groups of people he's meeting with supporters of his? They are supporters. They get to these official events, these official campaign events. They are known to be supporters of the campaign. They self-select by coming to his events. How are groups of people that come to his events, make the time out of their day to do that, and are vetted by the campaign and allowed into these events, representative of the average voter? And then I have one more.
So look, I'm going to be really careful because you're asking me a political question. You would have to talk to the campaign on how the process works, right? No, wait. Give me a second. Give me a second. On how that process works on who's at these campaign events. So I just want to make that clear because I have to say that from here and make that clear. I would remind you that 14 million people, this is something that I can talk about, voted for the president in the primary. That's 87% of the vote. That matters. Those numbers matter. So that is kind of a reality, a data point that matters as well. And so I'll just leave it there. But I think it does matter. I hear the question that you're asking. He's still engaging with everyday people. He's still hearing directly from them. They're still sharing information, sharing how they feel, sharing how they see the future of his presidency, and I think that matters as well. As far as who's in the room, how that comes together, who's in front of him, you would have to speak to the campaign about that.
Last thing, you've described his engagements with Dr. O'Connor on a regular basis as check-ins. That's what you described him having after the debate, a check-in versus an exam. Can you elaborate on what the difference is between a check-in and an exam? At these check-ins, does Dr. O'Connor or another staff member take the president's vitals or anything like that?
So I've talked about this on Friday. They're verbal check-ins with the president. They check in. As the president's exercising, that's usually how.
What does that look like, Karine? Well, he said that. He said there's a verbal check-in. Great. What questions are given? Are you taking vitals? What does this look like, lady? You get paid $180,000 plus benefits, and you can't answer a fifth grade question. Dude, it drives me nuts.
How this happens. And they're not a medical exam. I've said this already. I've cleared that up. It's not a physical. It is a verbal check-in that the president does multiple times with his doctor. It's normally as he's working out.
Does anyone from the medical unit take the president's vitals on a regular basis?
What I can tell you, he gets regular check-ins. He does regular check-ins a couple times a week with
layup of a question.
Dr. O'Connor, and that is for his doctor to decide on. That is not something that I can speak to from here. Go ahead, Karen.
Thank you. The president's come out very aggressively in the past 24 hours, from that letter to Democrats, the call into MSNBC, the phone call with donors, the CBC last night. Was that his decision personally to step up that outreach?
It has been. He's ready. He's on fire. He's ready to go, and he wants to get out there and continue to show that he has more work to do. Right?
If he's on fire. If he's ready to go, if he wants to show the American people what he's all about, Karine, why is his ass not on that podium and you are? He's in the building. You made us wait an hour and 45 minutes because you're in a meeting with the guy. Why couldn't he just come up here on the podium and tell all of us what the hell was going on with Texas? Why couldn't he give the message? Why can't he answer all their questions? Because he isn't cognitively able to do it. That's it. It's a simple answer. We all know it. The dude can't do it. He can't handle a press briefing. He hasn't done a press briefing. He hasn't done a presser in 3.5 years. The dude's never fucking stepped foot on that podium. He doesn't even know what that room looks like. The guy sucks. He's driving this country into the ground. I think you deserve a little bit of a rant here after waiting 2 hours for this crap to happen.
More important issues for the American people to get done. And so he wants to get out there. He's always has, though. I mean,
no, he hasn't.
The last 2.5 years, 3 years, 3.5 years, he looks forward to getting out there, speaking directly to the American people.
Then why hasn't he done it? Why hasn't he done it, Karine?
I know we say this, and I know sometimes you guys don't believe us, but he does want to engage with you all. He does want to talk more to the press. And so now we're certainly going to continue to create opportunities to do that. He's done interviews 40.
You want to know why they don't believe you, lady? Because it doesn't happen. That's why.
7 times in this year alone. And we're going to continue to create opportunities to do this. We're going to get out there so we can engage with the American people more directly. So we're going to continue to do that.
But in terms of, especially in the last 24 hours, that type of outreach to ease concerns among Democrats about his campaign continuing, was there something specific that he heard or read that prompted this, would seem more like a flurry over the last 24 hours that didn't happen last week? We really saw him doing more.
I get it.
Yesterday.
No, I get the question. Look, I wouldn't say there's anything specific. This is something that he wanted to do. And if you think about it, he's been on the road a lot since the debate. He was on the road on Friday. He was on the road on Sunday, and then right out of the debate, right, he did about 2.5 days of going into about 4 states. So he's just been on the road, busy, engaging with Americans. And he did the ABC interview, as you know, obviously. And so he wants to do more. He wants to do more. There's nothing specific, but he understands.
He literally doesn't want to do more. He said so, Karine. He said that he doesn't want to do more, that they need to tailor back his schedule. Stop lying. Fuck. His own words. He's open about it. He's told his own party, yeah, I can't do as much. I need to tailor my schedule back. But he wants to do more. Holy shit. People believe this, you guys. People understand that there's millions of people watching this. Yeah, Joey wants to get out on the campaign trail. He wants to answer all their questions. He wants to meet with the press. Then why isn't he doing it?
He understands what you all saw, right? He understands he had a bad debate. He understands that what Americans saw. So he wants to go out there and continue to prove to all of you that he can continue to do the work.
And does he feel that outreach is working to ease those concerns after the bad debate?
I mean, look, I think he's, this is kind of the questions that I got from other colleagues. He's hearing directly from the American people, and I think that matters. I think him being out there and Americans seeing him directly, being able to touch him and ask him questions and see him face to face, I think that matters. And so, look, we're going to continue to move forward and do what we have to do. All right, I think I can take one more. Go ahead, Aria.
Thank you so much. So we've seen the president being on the ground more, but we've also heard a slightly new tone from him. He said he was frustrated with the elites of his party. He dismissed polls. He criticized media coverage, saying that journalists get election results wrong. So is this the kind of tone we should expect to hear from him going forward? And does he believe this is the kind of tone that the average voters, as he says, expect from him?
Look, I would say this. I think what we've seen the last 10 to 12 days is certainly
Bill has his hand raised in the back. Let's hope she gets to him.
Story. He is someone that is certainly counted out many, many times in his career. People tend to knock him down, and you hear him say he gets back up. This is the story. This is the story of him standing up for himself, standing up for millions of Americans, and certainly millions of Americans who back his leadership. And like him, care. They care about working people. They care about getting things done. And it really, truly is who he is at his core, to fight not just for himself, but what he believes in. And he has seen this over and over again. People count him out. People say he's not going to win. People say, all of the negative things that they want to put at his feet, and he proves them wrong. Over and over again. You think about 2020. Folks said the same thing. He's not going to win. He's not going to make it. And he won. In 2022, we had a midterm election. And going into that midterm election, it was supposed to be a red wave. There wasn't a red wave. Happened in 2023. Now we're in 2024. And he's going to continue to fight. That is his commitment. That is quintessential Joe Biden story. That is fundamentally who he is to continuing to fight. All right, thanks everybody.
Oh, Philip Wegman, our boy, didn't get a question. That's too bad. So here's what the narrative is. And we called it. And it's not going to change. You're slowly going to see a deviation away from his cognition, the decline of it. And it's slowly going to move towards, well, he just had a bad night. Look at all the stuff he's done. and the media are going to pick up on other news cycles, and it's slowly going to drift away. And what you're going to see over these next few weeks is a shift of the Democrat Party getting behind and rallying behind Joe. He can do it. He's fit. He's proven to us. We've had long meetings with him. Look at all the engagements he's doing and in the interviews. And look at the presser and grouping up with NATO and all these things he's doing. And all this stuff we just saw for the last 14 days is going to shift and float away, you guys, off into the sunset. And what you're going to see is they're going to rally behind Joe Biden as if none of this ever happened, as if this whole rally cry that he should drop out never took place. And you're going to see the messaging is it was just a bad night. And look at how he proved it. He's an underdog, you guys. Joey's the underdog. And he's going to rise up from the ashes like a phoenix. And he's going to bring back the Democrat Party and be the king over the regime that he bestows upon. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but you understand the narrative at the end of the day. Holy Lord, we waited an hour and 45 minutes together as Patriots to watch that terrible-ass press briefing. But we got to hang out together nonetheless, folks. Always appreciate you. If you haven't picked up your 1775 coffee, make sure you do so, folks. It keeps you awake during these White House press briefings. Always appreciate hanging out with you. We're always looking for super chats and donations. If you feel like you have the money to do so, would greatly appreciate you helping out the show. You keep the lights on around here. You allow us to spend money on advertisement, new equipment, all sorts of things that help run the show, folks. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. That is what really supports us nonetheless. 99 cents a month. You can become a member today. Try to become a member over at Rumble because we're trying not to support YouTube anymore here. But always appreciate you guys. Hilarious in the chat. Karen, I see you. Patrick, Sean, Night Owl. I see all of you guys writing in there. Autumn. We got Army Vet, Trump Girl. Love it. Snarf. John. Kelly, Pat. Got all of you over there. We got everybody over at Rumble. Tarbox, 1970, baby. Every time he falls, the Secret Service lifting him back up. That ain't any more true than that, sir. David Prince, yeah, Biden shared with the people of Philadelphia how they helped him get elected senator of Delaware. Isn't that a remarkable thing, David? Appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back here tomorrow with another episode of the Bald Brad Show, bright and early, 7 a.m. If you're not following us, make sure you follow us over at Rumble. Follow us on YouTube and Twitter. We're always present with you, folks. Greatly appreciate you, and I'll see you tomorrow. God bless, Patriots.